anyone would care how I measure your roof. We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. 5 Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and C.J.
A little time to think things over.
Soft rock, right? Don't get softer than that, does it?
I better read between the lines.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's soft rock. Catch that door for me, John.
My homie said Foreigner is always soft.
Okay. All right. I like this. It's got those soft rock notes. There it is right there.
Is that the rock?
That's the softness of it. Because it's not just slow. Because you can get
But you got to get like a little
up,
guitar riff in there?
Get a little guitar riff. There's something remarkably soulful about soft rock. Surprisingly
There's also
so.
something like really bad with all the soft rocks hairdos. They actually wore perms.
That's how, I think as a society, that's how we was rocking our hair in the 80s.
Is that what we were doing back then?
You were alive. Is that not what we were doing?
I didn't rock like that.
What you mean you didn't rock like that?
I wasn't rocking the perm, but I do have some very embarrassing pictures where I was rocking some sweatpants in the like early 80s.
Yeah. That's the life we were leading. That's how we were doing things. Perms, jerry curls.
Fanny packs.
Fanny pack. Oh, fanny packs are back too.
See, I didn't do the fanny pack back then. I was proud of myself. But yes, the fact that the fanny pack is coming back has gotten me depressed.
Not coming back. It's here. It's back.
Was it Russell Westbrook? Who was it? Which athlete had the first fanny pack and made this thing famous again?
I don't know. Fashion, man. It cycles. I can't wait for bell bottoms to come back all the way. Like good flare leg in the eyes, and a sport like mixed martial arts and a sport like boxing, that matters. The excitement. You need to feel that when you watch it. And if ain't no fans going to be there, it's going to just feel like two dudes sparring with one another, I would imagine. But again, a whole private island just for your sport got me to thinking, well, if we did that in the NBA, we were talking about the NBA. Well, the NBA was talking about pitting players and staff and everything in Las Vegas and just sequestering everybody in a resort and playing games there like that. And we talked with Kari, talked with John. We played travel ball. We know that, we're going to sneak people in. We're going to sneak out. That's just how it works. And that's us as teenagers. What's it going to be like for grown men? If you put them on a private island where ain't nobody around, it makes it a whole lot harder for you to sneak somebody in. It does. I like the uniqueness of the thought, Dana. Just keep working on it. I don't think this is it all the way, but I like the uniqueness of the thought. Text in with your favorite islands, 67129, or call in 360-8255 on the First Bank phone line, First Bank text line. Text it in on the First Bank text line. You wouldn't know there was a pandemic if you came to Florida. People are everywhere. Like, we can't have that. We can't have that. Stay home. Stay home, please. We're going to take a quick break and come back. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The word is out about R&R on Sports, where you've heard interviews from
Ken Griffith Jr., Dr. J, Hank Aaron, and many, many more.
Right here, R&R on Sports. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Don't miss it.
I wish we could stay here forever. We deliver olives, Greek sandals, and everything you need to relive that perfect trip to the Mediterranean. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx delivery.
Memories. What we deliver by delivering.
Taco Bell is delighted to bring you a dynamic duo of dazzling flavors. It's the Grande Burritos. One, a taco reimagined with crisp lettuce and crunchy red strips. The other, filled with slow-cooked Chipotle chicken. Both for the show-stopping price of just $1 each. How's that for a Grande finale? The $1 Grande Burritos, only on Taco Bell's Cravings Value menu. Value beyond belief. At participating U.S. locations for a limited time. Contact store for prices and participation, which vary. Tax extra.
Years of research, hundreds of tests, thousands of iterations, and the result? The latest and dreamiest in sleep innovation. Introducing the new mattresses from Casper. Casper has done it yet again with all new mattresses. Waking up with back pain? Introducing Zone Support. Casper's unique ergonomic system designed to keep your spine aligned when you sleep. There's something brand new called AirScape, engineered foam layers with perforations that help regulate your sleep temperature. From bedding, bed frames, even a dog bed, Casper has everything to build the dream bedroom. For every kind of sleeper, experience the best night of sleep every single night like I do with a new mattress from Casper. And as always, free shipping and free returns. Go to Casper.com and use the code ROAM. Get $100 off your mattress order. That's Casper.com. Use code ROAM, R-O-M-E, for $100 off your mattress order. Terms and conditions do apply. See Casper.com/terms.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and C.J.
Time for you to come around. A long time to find what was wrong. Sure took a long, long time. It took a long, long time. It took a long, long.
Welcome back. Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ. Got CJ here as we continue to practice social distancing.
We should take it a long, long time.
You got John over there making sure everything continues to flow, everything continues to work. we were talking about Dana White and about the Fight Island and how absurd this concept is. But this is what leagues are going to have to do. They're going to have to try and get creative. If you are going to get your seasons going, or if you're going to start on time, or if you're going to start at all or restart. And while the thought of a Fight Island seems odd, kind of crazy, not odd, it seems crazy, it's wild. He's thinking, and all of these leagues are thinking, you're going to have to continue to think outside of the box until something sticks. This isn't it, though, for Dana White. This is not that great of an idea because it's a lot of stuff you have to account for. And while you've possibly taken away, I'm curious, are the fighters going to be living on the island? Because if that is the case, all right, things are now certainly interesting with people living on an island, basically living where they work. You could turn that into like reality show content. But again, a lot of the issues are the fact that it's the asymptomatic folks. It's the folks that aren't showing signs of illness who may not test positive for the coronavirus Tuesday, but will on Thursday. And they spread it. It's just too many variables for you to control to make sure that this happens safely. With that being said, I am here for all of the wacky ideas. Let's do it for everybody. Basketball season wants to restart. Test everybody. Don't tell the players where they're going. Just send them there. Get a private island with a basketball court and enough bids for only the good players. Only the good teams get to sleep on the bids. Motivate them like that. I'm here for it. Let's do it. It's a privilege to sleep in a bed inside. The rest of you got to sleep on tents on the beach on this private island. I like it. But in all seriousness, you can't account for everything. You just can't. You simply cannot. So you got to think about if you are an MMA league or the MMA, excuse me. It's one thing to get the fighters there. You need medical staff also. And we've seen that the medical staff for the MMA, their union has said, no, we don't think that's such a good idea. We don't want to do that. The trainers, you have to get them over there. You have to get them tested as well. The referees, same thing. Got to get them over there. You got to get them tested. This ends up being, if you wanted to try and do it, I think it would be way, way, way too much money. I think it would be way, way, way too impractical and place too much of a burden on what you're trying to do, and you still run the risk of spreading the coronavirus. I don't think that's a good idea, but I like it. It's wacky. I definitely enjoy it. John, would you be willing to go to Fight Island?
To Fight Island?
Yes.
Am I fighting?
No, you just gonna go.
I was gonna say I'm old now, buddy. 20 years ago, maybe that sounds like fun, but now I'm an old man, can barely walk up some steps. No, I would go, but I want everybody tested.
But again, it's just we know.
But also, you got to understand, like I'm also a little different. Like I got one more damn treatment. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
if my immune system was right now as normal, like it normally would be, I would probably not be as weirded out about this whole situation.
And we all know somebody whose immune system is compromised.
But it's coming back,
reason.
baby. I got one more treatment.
Okay, good. We all know somebody whose immune system is compromised for some reason. And so it's on all of us to make sure that we don't give the coronavirus to them. It is very, very
don't kill
very
me, please.
Important. Yeah. So if you see John out in these streets, don't hug him. Don't give him a kiss on the cheek. None of that.
I was running the other day from some kids, dude, like, because I had my two puppies. I was on a walk, and I kind of felt bad, though, because I saw these little, like, kids, and they were out there playing and just doing their thing. They're just kids.
Yeah.
But I was scared to death of them because, like, they got their fingers up their nose and everything.
Oh, kids, they're just sticky-fingered tummy trolls. That's all they are.
And don't get me wrong, I love them. It's just right now I'm scared of them.
Thankfully, it's not the kids you should be worried about. Kids seem to bounce back from this and aren't as
I don't want them to kill me.
affected at as high a number.
Amen on that. Yeah, they bounce back. It looks like so far really quickly on this.
It is the young adults you should be fleeing from, people my age, because we just for whatever reason act like we can't stay home. I don't get it, man. I don't. Just stay home.
By the way, did you see California do the how ratting isn't cool except for during COVID-19 or something like that?
No, I missed that entirely. What?
It was kind of crazy. Like you know how like the guy comes out there and he's like, you know the old saying that being a snitch isn't cool? Well, under these circumstances, it is cool. And they're actually paying people out in California to call in and snitch on people who aren't social distancing.
Oh, okay.
Like, could you imagine sitting around all day calling in people?
If you're going to pay me, though, I would post up somewhere with binoculars and just let the world know, hey, or let the police know. How much is it a head? It's like $20, $25 a head? Hey, I got 12, 13 people here. Run me my money, man.
Yo, there's like 40 people together. Get me my money.
A lot of people are being...
Is it each party or is it per person?
I would hope it's per person.
Dude, I was going to say there were some crunk parties that were going on out there. I'm sure people got paid.
Listen, there's a lot of people being furloughed, a lot of people being laid off. If you're looking for work, California seems to have an interesting job for you. I'd have definitely called about the cookout that I drove by on my way out of the park. But again, it was only 7 people. I would have called 3 of my friends to go to that barbecue and then called the police to get that money. That's what I would have done.
It's actually a really good idea. Invite like 50 people over and then like narc on them.
Yep. Be nowhere around. Just invite them to, like Dana White, an undisclosed location.
In the bushes. I see 50 of them.
Like, who threw this party? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about who called for the party.
Just use the alias.
Listen, I can't use my name. Pleading the Fifth. Does the Fifth Amendment work like that? No, but I'm going to plead it anyway. Let's make it happen. How you been holding up without sports in day, what is this, like 15? Did you watch the replay of the Saints game last night? Saints-Falcons from 06?
Honestly, yesterday, because I guess I got up so, like, wasn't used to being up that early, and I've been used to staying up, like, really late and having these really weird hours. So it was like, just might as well stay up through it all. And took a little nap yesterday afternoon and then got up for a little bit and then went back to sleep like at 9, so I missed almost the whole day yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my type situations.
But it was because, like, Sunday I couldn't go to sleep, so I figured I had to stay up all the way through it.
Yep. No, that's one of my type situations where you go to bed in the afternoon and you wake up midnight and then you're just up, just wandering about. But the Saints-Falcons game got me to thinking that game, for those of you who might not remember it, was from 2006. And it was the first game in the Superdome post-Hurricane Katrina. It was Monday night football, and the Saints went out there and just put it on the Falcons. I saw somebody say that the Falcons were 3.5-point favorites. And after that Gleason block punt, it was over. You could have ended the game right there. The Saints just went out there and put it on them. And that was a community that had been devastated by the effects of Hurricane Katrina. And I know at the time when Katrina hit, I was a freshman. Yeah, I was a freshman in undergrad when Katrina hit. And the way Tuskegee is, they get a lot of students from the New Orleans area. Atlanta, L.A., New Orleans, Chicago, Detroit. That's where Dallas. That's where a lot of the students hailed from. And there was a strong Louisiana population, a strong New Orleans population on campus. And I remember how devastated they were, how a lot of them lost their childhood homes after Hurricane Katrina. And we weren't sure if the Superdome was going to be used again for football purposes, what was going to happen with the city of New Orleans. And that game was I think the return to normalcy for the citizens of that area. That the Saints went out and played with so much passion and so much energy. And that crowd was so loud. You could feel, even watching the replay, John, I could feel the intensity and the passion from the crowd as the Saints put up all of the points on the Falcons in that game. And I wonder, and it got me to wondering, what's going to be our, okay, everything's back to normal moment? Who's going to give us that moment? Because it's hard. Sports plays such a large role in everybody getting back to normalcy. It does. It serves such an important role in our society from a social standpoint, not just from a wins losses, not just from hey, this is what's going on in free agency. I'm a sports junkie. Let's talk about all these moves. But from a true sense of normalcy, it matters. Think about what happened post 9/11 when the Mets came out, or Boston Marathon, the Boston Marathon bombing, when Big Papi grabbed the microphone. Well, they gave him the microphone up in Boston, up in Fenway Park. And profanities and all really galvanized that crowd and really got them, the city of Boston, back to feeling that confidence. Sports matters in that way also. And we saw it on display yesterday in the replay with the Saints Falcons. And I do believe Mike Vick said after the game, nobody was going to beat them on this day. The first game back in the Superdome, the crowd is going crazy, and they get that block punt to start the game. Oh, it was all downhill from there. There was nothing that you could do to really stop what the Saints were in that game, what they ended up being post 2006. So before Katrina, this is what the Saints were before Hurricane Katrina. All right, they only had 5 10-plus win seasons going back to 1978. That is when the NFL went to 16 games, I do believe. They only had 1 playoff win from 1978 to 2005. They were 1-5 in the playoffs from 78 to 2005. 06, from the time that game took place on to now. That's been what? 15 years or so? 14, 15 years? The Saints have 8 10-plus win seasons since 2006. Again, only had 5 from 78 to 2005. The Saints have 8 playoff wins and a Super Bowl. From 2006 to now. They're 8-9 in the playoffs. Still losing record, but they've got those 8 wins. They've been to the playoffs a whole bunch in the decade and a half since Hurricane Katrina. That game not only changed the feeling around New Orleans, how New Orleans, the city, felt. That game also, it looks like, catapulted the Saints into a different stratosphere. They were the Aints for so long. They had the brown bags on their heads for so long. You were wondering if they were just doomed to be this pitiful-ass NFL franchise. And then they get Drew Brees, they get Sean Payton, and bow, just like that. They get everything turned around, and they've had a really nice run, New Orleans has. But it still gets me to thinking, 67129, text in who you think or what you think will be our moment where we'll all realize, hey, everything's going to be fine. We are back to normal. What's going to be our normalcy moment?
Man, I don't think anybody knows. I just think the fact that nobody knows when anything's going to start. I mean, they canceled all NFL activities, this morning or last night, whenever I saw it this morning. And then they're getting rid of basically, heck, I mean, we don't know anything.
If you were to take a guess, a reckless guess, nobody's going to hold you to it. I'm not going to hold you to it. Nobody's going to hold you to it. Which league gives us that moment that, okay, everything's back to normal?
Probably the NFL.
You think so? That would make sense.
I'm hoping it's baseball. Like, I really want to see some baseball. I really, really, really do. And I'm hoping that, we have baseball before anything. If we get baseball, we might get college football. We might get the NFL. Everything might go off. But if we get baseball, for me, that'll do it for me. I love baseball. I'd love that to be the great bring back moment. For others, that might not necessarily do it for them, but I think they'll be happy to just have some sense of normalcy, and they'll take anything.
Baseball, speaking of which, they've got a plan that they're bouncing off of people, where they're just going to stick all the teams in Arizona. And so you play in Arizona. Everybody has workout facilities and games in Arizona, and you go from the stadium or from practice back to your hotel room or back home, wherever that is, in the state.
They are hoping, by the way, though, people, that they're going to play the regular season in Arizona, regular season, and they're hoping that the postseason could actually go back to the home team ballparks. That's a hope.
That would be...
I think that would work.
That would be rough, though, because you're asking players to be away from their families for 4.5, 5 months.
Dude, these are professional athletes. They're always away from their players. They're cool with that.
Okay.
Their family just goes out there. I mean, you think it like, oh, I made like $20 million. My family can't come and see me. Oh,
20
poor.
20 million's for you. You'll say, nope, I'll see you guys 3-4 months out the year.
Yeah, my girlfriend's staying with me. I'll see y'all after the regular season.
But that's one of those logistic things that got to be worked out, though. And again, it's just, for me, it is hard to envision a scenario where you can control all of the uncontrollable things, all of the uncontrollable factors that go into the spread of the coronavirus and of a global pandemic.
By the way, they're also doing this because they have a $12 billion media rights deal with ESPN, Fox, and Turner Sports. And if they do this, they're saying they only have to give them back $170 million.
Yeah, this is money's being lost.
But come on,
everybody.
dude. Like, you're basically, the season is going to be in Arizona. You're like, yeah, you know, you lost a little bit of money, I think, with that $12 billion deal. So we'll give you back $170 million. That's like a drop in the bucket in reality at $12 billion.
Yeah. But these leagues are going to have to get creative. Otherwise, they are going to lose money like the rest of us are losing money. That's just the unfortunate circumstance and reality of what is going on right now with the coronavirus. If we are all practicing physical distancing, which we all should be, businesses are going to take a hit. If you can't have fans in ballparks, if you can't play your sport, you don't want to lose out on that $1 billion TV deal. But unfortunately, you are.
But you know what? Believe it or not, because of COVID-19 and the coronavirus, whatever you're calling it these days, would you think that with any chance, even though it won't be like opening day in the normal ballparks, that still feels like a normal baseball fan type thing? If they did a regular season under these circumstances, do you think it would draw in a whole lot more eyeballs than normal because it would be the first first sport back?
And because it would be the only live sport back. Yeah. Even
crazily, it could actually be good for the television ratings.
The most casual of baseball fans would have to tune in because it's the only thing on. And if you can figure out how to do it the right way and control all of the variables, I don't think you can. You have a real opportunity to grab the national eyeball. And with that comes dollars. I just don't see how you can do it safely.
Oh, by the way, I do need to mention this because I thought this is something that I can't believe I looked this one over. One of the big things that I don't think people are talking about, I found this fascinating. If they implement this year because they say they're trying to save time and get in more games, I think this is something they will keep in. Unlike the NFL, you can't do the pass interference call anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was a one-and-done type thing just to appease your New Orleans Saints.
Appease the Saints. They got over on New Orleans.
But did you hear, though, and by the way, I don't know how many people realize this out there, they are very serious. They're in discussions with an electronic strike zone, no mound visits, and, of course, games going to 7 innings. But for me, the electronic strike zone, that is the biggest takeaway from this. Because if they implement that, John, and let's say people like it, like the players, the fans, whatever, sorry, buddy, you're not going to be back there.
Yeah, no, they're not going back. We'll be back, though. We got JB coming up next. We're going to talk to Jared Boyd, friend of the show. Check in with him, see how he's doing. He's got some really cool radio stuff going on, some new podcast stuff rather going on. So we're going to talk to him about that. I'm going to get his thoughts on some of these DJ battles as well. We are going to talk more NFL. Also, Cam Newton had some interesting comments when he talked to Chris Paul on Instagram Live yesterday. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about where the best fit for Cam might be. We're also going to talk about that pass interference rule that John just mentioned. All of that coming up and more. Don't you dare touch that dial. You're listening to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Spring has arrived. That means the sale has come to James Davis Men's Store. 20% off on all seasonal sports coats and suits. Oh, that Paul Batenley suit deal still going on. It's been extended. 2 suits for $795. Normally $595 a piece. You're saving $400. They love to give you incentives at James Davis Men's Store. So now you can get $50 off on any purchase of $250 or more. And for years, I've been bragging about those incredible custom shirts, the system that we call Stant. James Davis is the only place you can get those, and now you can do that with pants. With the pants, you just take 2 measurements. It's fed into a computer, and the algorithm spits out a perfect fit try-on pair of pants. They start at $168, and you can get them in casual and dress, 5-pocket or plain front. Only the best at James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. The spring sale is on.
Taco Bell is delighted to bring you a dynamic duo of dazzling flavors. It's the Grande Burritos. One, a taco reimagined with crisp lettuce and crunchy red strips. The other, filled with slow-cooked Chipotle chicken. Both for the show-stopping price of just $1 each. How's that for a grande finale? The $1 Grande Burritos, only on Taco Bell's Cravings Value menu. Value beyond belief. At participating U.S. locations for a limited time. Contact store for prices and participation, which vary. Tax extra.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar? Your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 would like to recognize local businesses that are out there still feeding and providing for the community via curbside pickup. Let's support local business with your business. These local businesses include Shelby Forest General Store, Let It Fly, Moon Dance Grill, Great Wines, Germantown Wines and Liquors, Corks Wines and Liquors. Sports 56 appreciates the support of local businesses always, but especially during this time. Thank you.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hurt. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Here once again are Peter and C.J.
Have no idea. You like it?
I think it works. I feel this in my soft rock bone. I think this counts as soft rock.
Your soft rock bone.
In my soft rock bone. I can feel it.
Is that what you said?
Yes. Welcome back in, everybody. Welcome back into Sports 56 Mornings. Right here on Real Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7. Jared Boyd is going to join us in just a second. For those of you who don't know, Jared is a writer at the Daily Memphian, and he's a co-host and producer of Beale Street Caravan. John and I were talking about that during the break, and he's got some interesting news.
He's not the rapper Block Boy JB.
No. I made the mistake during the break, ladies and gentlemen, of saying, hey, JB is up next, just talking to John, letting him know what's going on. John said, yeah. You mean Black Boy JB? It's like, no. No, Black Boy JB. No, John, this is Jared Boyd. Yeah, Black Boy. No. Why are you calling him Black Boy? His Twitter says Black Boy. No, Block Boy JB John is a rapper. That is not Jared Boyd. He's like, oh, so Block Boy JB doesn't do. No, Block Boy JB does not do the Bill Street Caravan.
Yeah, that was a little funny.
Block Boy JB, no, he DJs, doesn't he? Yes, but not that JB. It is Jared Boyd is who we're talking to, not Block Boy JB.
So now I don't need to tell people I know Block Boy JB.
Yes, because you know Jared Boyd, and that's just as good. What's going on, JB?
What's up, CJ? What's going on, brother? I can't quite say I'm just as good, but I think I'm headed in a good direction.
He's in it. Okay.
Yo, Bill Street Caravan's balling.
So modest, so humble, man.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, you know, this is we're on quarantine time, and so you know I'm at home in my inner sanctum, sort of working on my repertoire, and hopefully when we emerge from all this, then I'll be well on my way to at least giving JB, the other JBs in the world, a run for the money.
Follow him on Twitter at Jared JB Boyd on Twitter. Catch him there. Not at Block Boy JB John. That's not where we're going. How have you been holding up, JB, with the whole self-quarantining and physical distancing thing?
It's working out for me, you know, as best as I can sort of manage. I want to see us get through this, and so you know, I will say I'm grateful that I'm able to still do many of the things that I enjoy doing, and you know, I know where my food and I know where my money and my bills are getting paid, so you know, I can't complain at all.
That's good. That's good. You hadn't been to many record stores though, because I would assume those aren't essential businesses. How's that been going for you? Have you been just spinning old records?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I usually am DJing, particularly on Sundays at Central Station, and so in lieu of that, I said, well, this might be a good situation for me to just sort of practice for one, but also, you know, I started doing some mix shows from home, and you know, we only played Memphis music at Central Station or Memphis related music, and so I thought, well, this will give me a chance to sort of share some of my other records, and so that's been good, but. You know, I haven't quite run out of records, but it would be this. I think this experience, as far as the mix show online, would be better if I could, you know, buy some new stuff and sort of be actively searching for things. But I actually, you know, I text my local record store owner, you know, every couple of days, you know, and check on him, see how he's doing. Again, you know, I'm grateful that I can still write, still do some other things. And, I'm definitely thinking about all the people that I see every day that aren't able to you know, get up, put their clothes on, and do the things that they do that I love. And whether or not I love it or whether or not I know them, you know, I'm thinking about those people.
Yeah, it's hard not to in this time when you think about, you know, great aunts, regular aunts, uncles, great uncles, grandparents, especially. Some of us, our parents are up there in age and health. For some of us, it's friends, people that we knew growing up, people with the immunocompromised of the immunocompromised set. It is hard to wake up in the morning and see all of the physical distancing going on and not think about at least one of those people who are near and dear to you, and who are near to you and who are in your life, who would be regularly, but they aren't now because of the whole physical distancing, and trying to find some way to give everybody a bit of normalcy is fun. It is something that we're all craving right now. I think it's great that you've got the DJ sets going on in your house. I've seen a lot of people doing the DJ parties on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, where certain DJs are spinning records, and you can just come, hop on, and listen to their live mix, and have you a drink at the house and celebrate with the people in your house. Where can people go to find you? Where you're spinning records at, JB, on the social media platforms?
Well, if you go to JaredJBBoyd.com, that's Jared and Jay and then the B and then the Boyd.com. Or if you follow me on any social media, or you can find me on any social media, you can just see my website, that link, and you go down to the sound tab, and that'll take you through the music that I have available and the DJ shows that I have available. It's called the Nervous Wreck Radio Show. I haven't Googled that yet, but I'm guessing if you Google it, you might be able to find that too. And I appreciate you being a part of it. You gave me a little bit of a little extra oomph to put into one of my shows, so I appreciate that.
No problem, man. No problem. what can people expect to hear when they're listening to the Nervous Wreck Radio?
Everything. It's all vinyl. It's all stuff that I have had, obviously, before we all, started hanging out a bit more in our homes. But it's soul, it's funk, it's all over the place. And this most recent show, I really was missing playing the Memphis music so much that I went ahead and said, hey, I know I started this so I wouldn't play Memphis music all the time, but let me go ahead and just do a whole Memphis music set. So that's the most recent episode that I have. But outside of that, it's music that'll make you dance, but also, I think every episode sort of has its own attitude, so on sort of feel. So I have, I think episode 2 is just all dance music for the most part, and like 80s soul and funk, and sort of stays in the sort of post-disco 80s space, late 70s, and just the very, very early 90s. That sort of tells that story of post-disco. So it's all kind of pumped up, but it's hard to sort of listen to a bunch of that if you're not that kind of person. So, there's some that are chilled out, there's some that are more beat, there's some that are a mixture. And, there's some music that you might recognize, but I think most of it will be things that's like, oh, well, if you like that style of music, it's like, well, what is that? So I try to, just play stuff that no one would ever hear anywhere else.
And JB is great. We love JB because he's fun to talk to, but also his musical knowledge is up there with anybody's. And one of the things, no problem, man. One of the things I didn't realize was that Babyface was in a group before the group he was in, Manchild. How'd you figure that out? And describe Manchild's sound for us?
Well, I pay attention a lot to, what people are sampling.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know Yo Gotti has sampled that record before on his mixtape I Told You So back in the day. I think that was one they did with DJ Drama. Their song's called We Need We, and I think the song that he samples from that, the song that he has that samples We Need We is called Out the Hood. And then, Back on the Block, I think. I'll have to look into that. But, that song's been sampled a few times. Trademark Skydiver, who's another favorite rapper of mine, he used to be signed to Currency. He sampled that same track. So that's where my sort of knowledge of Manchild came from, was hearing that song sampled. And so I used it on the radio show and just recently, and also, posted it online. And he was in another group called The Deal with L.A. Reid, and so that was the group after that group that he was in. And so I think The Deal might be a little closer to what people might expect from Babyface, but Manchild's a bit more funky, and The Deal is a bit more like almost sort of Minneapolis sound, and almost sort of headed into that New Jack Swing thing that didn't quite exist yet, but definitely The Deal is a bit closer to what you might expect from like The Time or something like that.
I was thinking about New Jack Swing the other day. I miss it. I wish we could get it back, man. What ended up happening to New Jack Swing? Why is it? Why did it kind of fade away? Why did that kind of I guess subset of, I feel like, R&B kind of just fade away as the years progress?
Well, I think what New Jack Swing was, if you think of, and I always sort of use disco as a reference point, kind of like, if you put something in a funnel, like if you're pouring oil into a funnel, everything sort of comes out the other side in one stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of look at disco like that, or kind of like those. Remember when we were kids and they had those everyday mathematic workbooks,
right?
And they had those boxes, and you put three in one side, and it's multiplying by 3 in the middle, and then you have new answer on the other side. I think disco sort of warped and multiplied every bit of music that existed, and also created new forms and house and hip hop and other forms of music. You think of like, and this is going around the world, CJ. If you can follow.
Yeah, it's good. I love it.
And everyone thinks of like their favorite artists and what they were doing before the very late 70s and the early 80s. Everyone from Bobby Blue Bland, Merle Haggard, to everyone else was influenced in some way, I think, by disco. Just across the board, everyone sort of added a bit of that to their sound, and then on the other side, people sort of broke away from it in a strong way that you wouldn't have gotten new wave and all these other sort of forms of music. And I think because of disco in some part was technology and drum machines and sort of new ways of thinking about how we recorded music, we're still being influenced by that today. There would be no Pro Tools and there would be no auto-tune and all these other things that we use that sort of have made music in some ways easier, but also has given us new tools. Like how we think of DJing, all these different things. New Jack Swing is a product of that because hip hop is a product of that, and so I think when you saw what was happening with New Jack Swing, it was sort of people who traditionally would have sang, like if you think of soul music in the tradition of Motown and sax and all these other sort of things and movements. New Jack Swing was young people who would have been singers using the technology of hip hop and thus sort of by proxy disco. And I think that's just sort of a spectrum. As hip hop beats started to evolve, the way that young people would take those beats and then apply the singing to them sort of changed. So you got hip hop soul out of that, and then you got neo soul out of that. So I think just the style of hip hop production changed, and so that changed the style of the young singers, and so I guess you could kind of look at the difference between like a Whitney Houston and a Mary J. Blige, which came out around the same, sort of around the same time. If Whitney is sort of more of a traditional singer, Mary J. Blige is a hip hop singer. You know what I mean? And so New Jack Swing was hip hop singing, and the next stage of that, as the sounds changed, was a Mary J. Blige or a Monica or a Brandy, where, the beats were there, but beats had changed. So that's what happened in New Jack Swing, I would say. Just, if the rappers who were around when New Jack Swing was going on were guys like Cool G Rap and Big Daddy Kane, rappers didn't sound there no more. You had Nas, and you had Jay-Z, and you had, Biggie. And so that's how hip-hop sounded. So that's how the hip-hop singing was going to sound.
Is that what also happened to R&B? I feel like over the years, R&B has taken a further and further backseat in all of our consciousness, and it's in large part,
Absolutely.
I think, because, like you said, the sound gets mixed in and blended in with rap and hip hop, where we used to have R&B singers on hooks, or now it is the rappers, your Futures, your Drakes are on their own hooks singing, even in 3-6 songs. I feel like some of the better hooks are from, Juicy J, Project Pat doing the hook, not singers in the traditional sense, but they are singing to some sort of melody on their hooks. Is that what happened to R&B?
Yeah, I think definitely, it's all about, you work in a building where, people are thinking about this. They're looking at, what works and what doesn't work on different formats. And on the other side of that, you have people at the large buildings, the Sonys and the Universals of the world and the Interscopes, and they're looking at, what works and what doesn't work. And I think, and the same as, the DJs who are in the clubs. And so the artists pick up on that. And, I think being fluid and being able to sort of weave yourself out of this sort of hybrid of singing and rapping is what's really popular now. But it took a lot to get to this point. I mean, when hip hop was brand new, in what would be thought of as a black music format, even sort of our parents would have been a part of this sort of idea when hip hop was new. Was the R&B station would say, we don't play any of that rap crap. You know what I mean? That would be a part of their promos. But eventually, you couldn't do that because even if you listened to TLC in the 90s, if you listened to No Scrubs, there was a version with left eye rapping and there was a version without a rapping, and eventually you got tired of making those sort of decisions. And if you notice, even the people who were traditionally singing before hip hop became so hard to ignore, if you listen to Ain't Nobody by Shaka Khan, that's sort of leaning towards a hip hop influence. Or if you listen to Give Me the Reason, Stop to Love by Luther Vandross. So you start listening to some of the stuff that Stevie Wonder was doing in the 80s and into the 90s, even Prince, like a lot of these artists became influenced by hip hop. The ones who were from the generation before was even necessary to be influenced by hip hop. They sort of had that kind of beat in the street kind of vibe. Even, Miles Davis put out Quincy Jones, they put out those sort of hip hop fusion jazz records and things like that. So, everything sort of is blended with it now to the point, pop is hip hop and country is hip hop now. And so you just can't take it out now. We're just sort of ingrained in all of it.
I don't care what anybody says, and I get into conversations with people up here about Post Malone, and he is not a rapper to me. Post Malone is straight singing like that. That is R&B to me at its finest. I think that we get caught up because artists don't want to be known as R&B singers because the money's not there for R&B singers as it is for a pop star, for a rapper. But Post Malone, Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, those are people who I feel like are singing what if they dropped in the 90s, we would consider them R&B acts, R&B artists. But because of the time where they are, they have to be something else in order to hold everybody's attention, in order to be played on those top 40 stations.
Yeah, I disagree, but
we're gonna have to get into that then. What's
yeah.
Post Malone's not R&B?
Well, I mean, I'm not singling him out, but I think that first of all, let's say, I mean, you have to applaud people like John Legend or Alicia Keys, people who still sit in an instrument and play. But I don't necessarily think that I don't think that if this were a different time period, that would be treated different. I think that my disagreement would be that there's always been a way to create new words to sort of separate artists who aren't black but perform black styles of music out from black radio or the perception that they are performing black music. I mean, Elvis Presley and Buddy Holly and all these guys were, and the Rolling Stones and all these people were doing music that was influenced by what Little Richard and James Brown and Otis Redding and the Isley Brothers were doing, but they had to find a new word for that just to make audiences understand it in a different way and to be able to market and sell a different way. And even if you go further back than that, you think guys, I always forget this guy's name, Benny Goodman and people like that in the jazz era, they had to sort of create a way to make those not what they would have called race records at a certain time. And even if you go further than that and back into vaudeville, sort of this thing has happened many times over. So, I mean, if you appreciate that music, then appreciate that music. But I think that there's a reason why Kay Michelle and people like Jasmine Sullivan aren't huge pop stars, but Adele and Amy Winehouse are and were. So,
I see that. I follow what you're saying. You been keeping up with these DJ battles?
No, I haven't. I mean, I sort of watched the highlights on Twitter once they happen. Right. But, I just can't really sit at someone's IG Live. I know that we're in times where that's necessary. But, I just can't really stare at my phone like that. I'm a caster. That's what I am.
Okay.
If there was an easier way for me to cast it to my TV, then that's better. I like to cast things. Like, I don't really like to look at my phone real close like that. But I definitely have followed the highlights. And I mean, I know these guys' discography. It's like, I really was hoping that Babyface and Teddy Riley was going at it. But, like I said, I pulled the Man-Child record out. Like, I could listen. I saw I Make Mad Beats tweet the other day. If these guys are just going to play songs we already know, then I could make a playlist at home.
Yeah, you got, but it's different, man, because you got the two producers there, and there are some little factoids that get shared, and even with the Manny Fresh Scott Storch, even with that battle, which Scott won because he just has so many hits, and you forget about all the hits he has. Manny, at a certain point in time, just started playing some of Scott's songs. It was just, listen, man, when I heard this, I felt this way, and I thought about doing this, and you can see how, and you get to hear how, and hear from the source of the people making the beats, how all of them are influenced by not only what's already been out, but by their peers in the present. And it's just a nice way to see how all of the music that we listen to is kind of blended together in a really, really interesting way.
Well, yeah, I sort of, like I said, I watched the highlights kind of online, and so I definitely have a stake in wanting to know how these people are being received. And so when I heard it was going to be Manny Fresh and Scott Storch, I knew that Scott Storch had the upper hand. And people have their own sort of ideas about how it played out. I saw people saying, well, Manny does all his beats on his own. Scott Storch sort of programmed or played keyboards with Dre or with the Roots or with Timbaland, and it's like, well, I mean, first of all, we don't really even know. We don't know that if that's true. I'd say there's some possibility that he may have produced the majority of those beats, and it's the other way around, that Dre or Timbaland or whatever sort of added a little bit to Cry Me a River or added a little bit to Still Dre. There is some history of.
Wait, Scott Storch was on Cry Me a River?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I did not know that. I thought it was just Timbaland. Okay, that's why that track was so good.
Again, I mean, there is some history of these larger producers taking credit for the people who are sort of their apprentices at the time, and so I think that their verdict might still be out on whether or not how much of Scott's contribution to some of those songs that before he became a hit producer in his own right are. And so, setting that aside, I mean, what do you expect when we have these DJ producer songwriter battles? You know, you can't exclude the co-productions or the co-writing situations, because I mean that's a part of a person's career, that's a part of their story, and this is all for fun anyway. So I think that argument is dumb. But also, Manny Fresh with the skits, sort of making fun of Scott Storch and those different things. I think that's karma. When you come into a situation like that with an attitude that you're going to embarrass somebody and do this sort of thing, like he was releasing that kind of stuff, doing skits even before they got online together. I think that in itself probably was a bad energy for Manny Fresh to lead with. And on top of that, I think because of Scott Storch is kind of a strange looking, kind of guy, and he doesn't really have, because he has such a sort of meteoric kind of fall from grace during an awkward time in hip hop. I think that he doesn't get the credit that he deserves, and hopefully he gets it now. The guy's he's had an amazing career, and I think he still has an amazing talent. He's got a new record with Roddy Ricch that is doing well. So I think that he's proven that he has longevity. And as wonderful as Manny's career was with Cash Money, I think that was a very kind of niche kind of thing, and he did it over and over, did it consistently. Whether or not that was, he's playing his role on the team, and that was what he was called to do, and that's fine. But I think people need to, because people love Lil Wayne so much, I think that we need to be honest about Cash Money, and that was a very small window of time that we really enjoyed those records. I think that you got to give Scott Storch his credit. And the other thing is just like, I think that through these IG lives that we're doing, I think people are realizing now that these guys aren't, whether it's Scott Storch, whether it's Manny Fresh. I think you would have seen the same thing with Teddy Riley and Babyface. People have seen it with Brian Michael Cox and Rodney Darkchild Jerkins and all these other people. They are superstar musicians in their own right, but I think if the more that we see of them in this light, they're also just nerds, right? Like these are the guys who would have to have that sort of technical skill to be that great at music. These are the same guys who would be computer hackers or whatever the case. I mean, these are the guys that hang out sort of in the back of a Guitar Center in the 90s. Before that was a cool thing to be. These guys are to be that great at any craft. You sort of have to be a little socially awkward, right? And so Manny Fresh, I don't think read the room well enough. Going in, like he was trying to treat Scott Storch like kind of like the nerd in the film that gets his comeuppance at the end, but he sort of came across as being extremely mean and mean spirited at a time that it wasn't necessary. Like, so these guys aren't necessarily the best communicators or necessarily the best personalities. It's sort of interesting to watch. You got to think about why Manny Fresh would have been the guy making all the beats on the Cash Money records, surrounded by all these guys that are like kind of have these hood personas. And Manny Fresh is in the back, like tinkering around with a machine. Like that's what he was doing for years, tinkering around with a machine.
Yeah, it's so many times we see greatness, be it musically or athletically, which what we talk about mostly on this show, leading to some socially awkward people. As great as Michael Jordan was, nobody really wants to hang out with that person. That person who's going to flip out if you beat them in a cards game, or that person who's going to flip out if you want to end a Monopoly game early. As we've heard stories of Michael being in North Carolina, in undergrad, and like, no, we're gonna play Monopoly all night until I win. That sort of person is not something that you would want your children to be, or you would want to be around personally. But when they go out there and they commit to their craft, they perform. We all love it, but that's what it takes sometimes for some people to get that greatness and to produce that great work of art. Be it Michael Jordan Game 6 against the Jazz, or Manny Fresh on the Back That Thing Up beat, like whatever it is some sort of socially awkward person is behind it, because that's what it takes. You have to be so fixated and so focused on your goal that it leads you to be a bit awkward and a bit of a social pariah. JB, I could talk to you all day long about these sorts of things, man. Everybody go check him out on Twitter at Jared JB Boyd and listen to him. He's got the Nervous Wreck Radio. Check that out as well. Thank you, JB, so much for joining us, man.
Enjoying this particular era of me being a social pariah. Hopefully I'll get better at something. I'll do like Manny Fresh. I'm sure to get that good at making beats, he read a manual. So I think I might read some manuals.
All right, good. Let me know what that manual is. I'm trying to come up on some money too. So let me know,
all right,
man. All right, JB. Jared, Boyd, we got to get to a break. Don't you dare touch that dial. We're going to come back. We're going to discuss some about MLB and NBA and what they're going to need to do to kickstart their seasons.
Don't forget Mr. Tiger, rest in peace, Al Kaline. For a lot of people out there who don't even know who he is, I will explain to you why he is Mr. Tiger and arguably maybe Mr. Baseball.
Don't touch that dial. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings right here on Real Sports Talk, 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. You've worked hard building up your retirement nest egg, but will it provide the income you need to have a comfortable retirement? Do you have the right investment mix? Stocks, bonds, cash? What about annuities or real estate? If you have $500,000 or more, call for Fisher Investments' free guide, The Definitive Guide to Retirement Income. Call Fisher at 1-800-885-7766. That's 1-800-885-7766.
Hey, sports fans, you already know the Butcher Shop has been a great Memphis tradition since 1981, and it still is. The Butcher Shop is absolutely open for your takeout with curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery, because the Butcher Shop is still serving your favorite steaks, fish, and seafood. But now you can also pick them up raw and take them home to cook. You get the highest quality from the Butcher Shop and the comfort of home cooking. All wine and beer selections can be sold and picked up curbside as well. Plus, order curbside and pickup and receive 10% off your food order. And how about Burger Fridays? Treat your company to lunch, and the Butcher Shop will deliver Hamburger Friday any day of the week with all the fixins for just a minimum $250 order. The Butcher Shop is here for you, so don't worry about getting a great meal. The Butcher Shop has cooked or uncooked meals for curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery. Call 757-4244 or online at thebutchershop.com. The Butcher Shop at the Agri Center, Walnut Grove, and Germantown Parkway.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Yeah, this is it. This is all front right here. Welcome back in, everybody. Sports 56 Mornings.
I don't know why I'm ready for him to break out and sing We Are the World, because there's like so many people in this video.
68 degrees out. According to the Doppler doohickey, we're going to get a little bit of rain. It's been a while since we have rain, I feel like. When's the last time? Maybe sometime last
Sunday?
week? Sunday? Did it rain Sunday?
Yeah, it annoyed the bleep out of me.
Huh.
Yeah, my dogs got all soaking wet. I was in the middle of it because it just caught me, man. I was soaking wet, but the worst part was the dogs because, man, dogs soaking wet's not cool.
I'm supposed to cut the grass today. Thankfully, it's raining, so guess who's not going to do that? This guy. But Hall of Fame outfielder, for those of you who missed it, John teased it going into the break. Al Kaline dies at 85 years old. He's affiliated with the Detroit Tigers for a little bit, I'd say. How many years,
Yeah,
John?
you could say that.
How many years?
My man Al Kaline, the reason he's known as Mr. Detroit and all that stuff is because you got to think about this. He graduates high school. Right after graduation, he is drafted by the Detroit Tigers as a bonus baby. Next thing you know, he is up there with the major team in his first 3 years. He's the second year at 18 years old, he becomes the starting right fielder. By the time he's 20 years old, he bats .340, hits 27 home runs, has 321 total bases plus 200 hits in 152 games, is second in the MVP ballot, goes on to have one of the most unbelievable careers you could ever have, played 22 professional seasons with the Detroit Tigers. And then this is why I call him Mr. Tiger and maybe Mr. Baseball, because the man is drafted out of high school by the Tigers, spends 22 years in the uniform. Next thing you know, right after he gets done playing, spends 25 years in the broadcast booth. Then he spends till the day he dies, the next 19 so odd years, in the front office, being a manager, a special assistant, working with, the owner and the GM, and that's why he's always Mr. Tiger. And basically Detroit, I mean, think about that. He spent his whole life as a Tiger. That to me is Al Kaline, you're the bomb.
I can't imagine. I've been in Memphis. This is the longest I've been in one spot in my life. And I got here summer of 2009, so going on 11 years. I can't imagine being not only with one professional team your entire professional career, or one professional organization, be it a team or a major corporation or any of that. I can't imagine being in one city for your entire life.
And by the way, you want to know something that's interesting? Do you know there's only 2 players that have had a longer career with their team, and now they didn't go on to broadcast and spend the rest of their life with the Tigers like my man. That's why I call him Mr. Kaline, like almost Mr. Baseball, because his whole life was in baseball. And, by the way, he was really great at it and wrote a great book. And the book, if you want to read it again, is 3,000 hits, almost 5,000 total bases, and a true artisan of right field. But think about this. Brooks Robinson of the Orioles and the Yaz, Carl of the Red Sox, 23, both of them 23 apiece. And a lot of people are thinking to themselves, well, what about like Cal Ripken and all them and George Brett? They played 21 seasons without changing their uniform. So you have George Brett, Walter Johnson, Ted Lyons, Cal Ripken, Willie Stargell, 21 seasons. And then you have Stan the Man Musial. If you count his military service, he would have had 23. And then Ted Williams, if you count his military service, would have had 22. But again, Kaline, only 2 players, Brooks Robinson and the Yaz, played more seasons with the same team. That's crazy.
That blows my mind to be able to say that you spent most of your life not only in one city, but
same uniform,
one company. We've seen it. Tim Duncan seems to be on that trajectory, possibly, as he's gone from player to now Spurs assistant coach.
Do you think he'll stay there, though, like to take over for Pop or something? Like, can you see him spending his life as a Spur?
Yes. In some way, shape, or form. I don't know.
It would be weird seeing Timmy with another person. I mean, I can see him chilling
team
with Wake Forest, maybe, because, if he went back to college for some reason. But other than Wake, no way can I see Tim Duncan going anywhere other than Bahamas to swim.
Yeah, I don't know. If he wants to be a head coach, we're not making a lot of Popoviches. Where Pop has been there since, 97? How long has Popovich been with the Spurs?
Honestly, I got to look it up. I can't even remember when he wasn't there.
But we're not making coaches like that. Most coaches got, 3.5, 4 years, and then they're gone, and we got to go to the next one. And that's just across sports. And if coaching is something that Tim Duncan is super interested in and really wants to do, it's hard for me to say anybody's going to be as good of a coach as Popovich or have the longevity that Greg Popovich is.
96, 97 season.
I thought so.
Dang, how'd you know that?
I don't know. He's been, I feel like I've
like,
gotten
is it because
into,
of David Robinson and like his last
I don't
2
know.
years
I feel
or
like
something?
we've gotten into a lot of Popovich coach conversation, like where he fits in, not only from
You
a
and Peter?
basketball standpoint. Well, no, just me and whomever. Not only from a basketball standpoint, but the pantheon of coaching.
Wait,
in
this would be
country.
25, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Would it be? Hold on, wait.
I think so.
96? I don't know how to do math. I'm not going to do that in my head.
Well, the thing you got to understand is like 26, 27 is his first one. So then you go all the way down to I got to count.
Count for me. Nothing wrong with count. We don't have to be able to do things in our head. We just count it out. I think it would be, though, like 21, 22, if I'm not mistaken.
He's coached 2019 and 2020 would be 24.
24. Okay. So he's coming up on 25 years as a head coach.
Correct. Last year was his 24th
for
season.
the Spurs, all for the same organization, bringing that full circle to Mr. Kalon.
Yeah, I was right, man. I said 24 right off the go because of 96.
It is.
Why'd you try to confuse me?
I don't know. I was confused. I don't know. I apologize sincerely, John. It is rare that you get, especially in sports, and sports has a high amount of turnover, a super high. The only thing constant, especially in professional sports, the only thing constant, for the most part, is the person signing the checks. Whoever the team president or owner, governor, whatever you want to call them, whoever that person is usually the constant. And then when that person passes on, it goes to a member of their family. So that family remains a constant, but everything else gets churned out and gets changed out and switched out so often it is hard to imagine. And it really is unbelievable that Mr. Kalon spent, 70?
Like 20, I mean,
70
oh, God,
years as
his
a Tiger?
years? Oh, yeah, he was.
About 60, 65, something like
at
that.
least. I mean, 25 in the booth, another 20 in the front.
That's 45.
And and then 22 on the field.
Like, that's amazing.
67.
To sit down and think about how many years he spent with one organization, one team.
Man,
that is
you know what,
remarkable.
though? By the way, I also almost forgot one of the things, and if I don't get this out, I know I'll forget this. I brought this up also to tell people, Cardinals fans, if you want to relive it, but I don't think you do because the Tigers beat the Cardinals 4-3 in Game 6, and then they, Tigers basically hammered the Cardinals 13-1 in Game 7, and that was just a beatdown. Or maybe it's vice versa. I can't remember exactly, but all I know is they're going to air the 1968 World Series Game 6 and Game 7 in honor of Al Kaline. Tigers beat the Cardinals in that series.
Where's that at?
It's going to be on the MLB Network.
Okay. All right. So if you want to...
Yeah, I'm an MLB Network
you want to get
big fan.
Your sports fix in.
What up,
you
Heidi Klum?
Can watch some of these replays if you so choose to. The MLB has an interesting solution to this pandemic.
Fantasy baseball is still working. Like, people are praying that they're going to get this in.
People are hopeful not only fantasy baseball, but actual baseball gets played. And what that might mean for other sports leagues. We got that coming up next. So don't you dare touch that dial. You're listening to Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Check out Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 96.1 FM and 87.7 FM.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Upon official review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
We deliver jerseys, funny foam fingers, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
Paid for by Bank on Yourself.
Would you get on an airplane if you knew it had a 50% chance of crashing? You may be riding that plane right now. If you have your money in a 401k or IRA and you plan to take out the recommended percentage each year when you retire, your chance of running out of money is 50%. 50%. But there's a better and safer way to secure your income in retirement. Discover how in a free book called Rescue Your Retirement. This wealth building strategy has never had a losing year in more than a century. In fact, even the man who invented the 401k now prefers this method instead. Get Rescue Your Retirement free for just a small shipping charge and enjoy a safe landing and a comfortable retirement. Get this free book and make sure you don't run out of money. Hurry, this offer is extremely limited. To get your free copy, just go to growwealthsafely.com. That's growwealthsafely.com to discover how to rescue your retirement. growwealthsafely.com.
Central Barbecue is committed to the health and safety of this community, who has supported Central for almost 20 years. Central Barbecue is still open for business with to-go and delivery options to serve the greater Memphis area with the same great barbecue you have come to know and love. With 4 locations to serve you, from downtown, midtown, and East Memphis, you can order your favorite barbecue and enjoy everything on the menu in the comfort of your own home. Call your nearest Central Barbecue location for more information on delivery and to-go options today.
This is Peter Edmiston from Sports 56 Mornings. During this coronavirus pandemic, all of us at Sports 56 urge you to please stay home, practice social distancing, and wash your hands often. While you're home, stay connected with Sports 56. Turn us on your radio, phone, computer, or smart speaker and stay up to date and connected. This is a tough time for everyone, but we will get through it if we all do our part. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected with Sports 56 and sports56whbq.com.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Is this soft rock? I'm not sure.
It says soft rock.
Is this Taylor Swift? Who is this?
It is Taylor Swift.
This is not soft rock.
Well, it says Taylor Swift does soft rock.
She doesn't do soft rock, though.
I just
This
thought
is
it'd be
Taylor
fun
Swift,
to
it's not
put in a little
soft
Taylor
rock.
Swift because the kids
Are you serious? Is this really Taylor Swift?
No, it really is. It's
Look
Taylor
at me flexing
Swift.
that
She
T-Swift
does,
knowledge.
Dude, she does
T-Swizzle.
Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody.
She's
She does
doing
all
the
kinds
covers.
of these, like,
She's
old
doing
school
a
Guns N'
cover.
Roses Don't Cry.
No, hey, listen. Taylor Swift has an awful cover of Earth, Wind, and Fire September, and I do not like it. Some of her covers are nice. Some of them are good. The cover of Earth, Wind, and Fire September is terrible. Oh, my gosh. I can't stand it. Welcome back into Sports 56 Mornings. John is...
Dude, she did a whole cover like U2, Guns N' Roses, Police.
Yeah. Yeah, she does that. Artists do that from time to time. They get, I don't want to say they get bored. I
think she's bored. I think she just did this.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that she likes those songs. It's like, hey, I'm Taylor Swift. I'm T-Swizzle.
Yeah, I just went to
T-Swifty.
YouTube and pulled up Taylor Swift play soft rock, and it actually worked.
I can knock some of this stuff out. Welcome back into Sports 56 Mornings on a Soft Rock Tuesday. We'll get this thing back on track coming back from the next break. You can text us on Twitter at Sports56WHBQ. You can also watch us live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Instagram, Sports 56, WHBQ, on all of those wonderful platforms. You can text me personally, like Smug Memphian did, at Conradicalness on the Twitter. Smug Memphian wants to know if the MLB is playing. The NBA has to as well, right? I don't know. I don't think so. We talked some in the first hour about the Fight Island with Dana White and MMA, and with the MLB and what they were trying to do as far as pitting everybody in Arizona to only play in Arizona the regular season. There will be no fans there, and it would just be players, and what that would look like. And I don't know if it is possible. I know that the league really wants to play. We really want to see live sports again. Players want to get paid. Players want to play also. But you're still asking for so much from these players and from everybody. So not only are players going to have to be sequestered, but you're going to have to keep umpires in isolation. You're going to have to keep the field crew, the guys who work on these fields, you're going to have to keep them in isolation as well. You're going to have to test constantly test. And I understand that the MLB is willing to increase the roster sizes for this reason, because you are going to have to constantly test. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but it gets hot as hell in Arizona in the summertime. So playing a bunch of baseball games only in Arizona, that's going to wear on you.
But remember, it's a dry heat.
No, listen. Now we've got to get off on a tangent here.
I always joke around about that.
Real quick.
But I will say, I hate humidity. Like in Memphis, you take a shower, you get out, you start sweating. That doesn't happen in Arizona. But 110 is 110.
That's the point. Once we get to a certain temperature, you're no longer impressing me. All right? You're no longer tough. You just sound silly to me. Once we get in the hundreds, no, it's just hot. It's hot everywhere. Is humidity bad? Abso-positive-and-lutely. Humidity is terrible. But if it's 117, no, forget that too. Who wants to be out in 117-degree heat? I don't. Northerners are the worst. The absolute worst. Oh, you think this is cold? My God, it is 26 degrees. No, this ain't cold. See, up in Chicago, I don't care how cold it gets in Chicago. It is 28 right now. It is cold no matter where you are. All right, relax. My dad from Michigan, that's his thing. It's 30-something degrees. He's outside in shorts. Like, y'all cold? Yes, we're cold, old man. It's 30. It's 30. If it's 110, 115, it's hot. No matter where you are. That's not dry heat. That's just regular heat. It's hot. It's too damn hot to be outside.
Boys of summer, though, they don't care about the heat. That's what they do. They play all summer. Every day, all day.
Bless their heart. But because
by the way, one other
heat-related
thing,
injuries, though, they are going. The MLB is talking about expand if this goes through. I don't think it can, but if it does go through, the MLB is talking about expanding the roster size because you have to. Just putting your body through that much heat, you have to have more bodies out there.
But what do you think about, this is the only reason I wanted to get to it, instead of playing extra innings, what do you think about my man Turner's idea, Justin Turner for the Dodgers? He said instead of playing extra innings, if the game is tied, just go to home run derby. Like each team grab one dude.
Absolutely.
I think that would actually be fun.
Or go, everybody start with a man on third.
Dude, home run derby just because it's a weird year anyway.
You'd have to get, and we know a home run derby takes on players. How many players have participated in a home run derby?
Oh, no, but at the end of the game, you take one guy, you get 5 pitches. You have to have a
designated home run derby.
Basically, no, he just says all it is each team picks one player. Mm-hmm. Whoever's the hottest that day or their home run hitter or whatever, and you get 5 pitches. Whoever hits the most out of 5 swings
You'd have to have a designated home run guy, though. Like that, I'm here for that. I'm here for one position. Donate one position.
But no, you wouldn't, because
for home run.
That's not true. Every team, Aaron Judge or Giancarlo.
You don't think that would?
Nolan
you don't think
Arenado.
that would affect them in the later games, later on in the week?
No, like I said, that would save the body of the teams.
It would save the teams, but what about the individual players?
It would save the individual. Heck, you could use a guy who wasn't even playing in the field that day, so you have to bring a guy off the bench, and the only thing he does is hit 5 home runs that day.
That's my point.
I like that.
Like a designated home run guy.
And that's what he has. Like if we go to extra innings, Juan Soto sitting on the bench today. It's his day off. He'll be our designated home run guy.
We have closers. We have designated hitters. I'm here for one guy specializing in one really, really small thing, be it getting 3 outs, be it only coming up to hit ever so often, or be it hitting home runs.
It would only be per game, though. I mean, it would be like it'd rotate each game, like because Soto goes back out in the field the next day. Like it would only be the days off.
I don't think so. I think you would have to have a position specifically.
Do you not understand? People hit home runs in baseball. There was the record. More people hit more than 20 home runs ever. So you don't need to. You're going to call up some dude and just all he's going to do is hit home runs.
Yes.
No. Okay. See, that's where I guess don't understand baseball. Nobody wants to do that. CJ. There's not a baseball player except for a very few guys who are old and can't do anything but hit, and they have to DH. DH is because I can't play in the field anymore. Dudes don't want to be the home run guy. So
we still have
if your
DH
day
guys,
off,
don't we?
I'm telling you right now, baseball. You think that MLB, all the baseball players. I mean, we have to be logical. I know you're getting excited, but you have to be logical. Of the 25 or 28 man roster, whatever they decide. Every day, you just pick one guy who is on the bench who can't come in and base run, can't do anything. If they go into extra innings, he's the home run guy. We're not going to create just home run guys.
I want them to, though, John.
They don't just create them.
Why
They're
can't
called
they just
baseball
create
players.
Them? Just create them.
No, that's what baseball players are, dude.
Yeah, no. We have baseball players, and then we just have the home run guy.
But what I'm saying is, where in the hell do you find that's you find the home run guy on the baseball field?
Yeah, but when the baseball player gets aged out, they become the home run guy. Like, can Ken Griffey, have been able to be the home run guy towards the end of his career?
Sure.
Like, that's
Anybody
what
can.
I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying, though. You have that guy. You extend these careers out. You get all the home runs from these people.
I know, but you're missing everything that I'm saying. You're talking about, going and getting, this old dude who's not playing baseball. I'm trying to tell you, that doesn't work. Every single team already has a home run guy. Basically 1 through 9, unless they're in the National League and they got pitchers, unless Madison Bumgarner's hitting. Everybody now hits home runs. Everybody.
Could Bumgarner be the home run guy?
Bumgarner could be the home run guy.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. That would be cool, too.
Fun.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Fun. Your
Everybody
also be your home run guy?
Dude, on that team, he could. San Francisco don't have too many home run guys. He could do it. Now he's with Arizona. And we could call him when he's the home run guy. They call him by his rodeo name. Do you know about that?
No.
You don't know that he's been rodeoing under an alias?
No.
Okay, hold on. Am I really breaking your mind right now?
No, we're going.
I'm going to go to a break, but we have to come back and talk about this. There is you know who Madison Bumgarner is.
I'm aware of Madison Bumgarner.
You know he's a World Series champion, right?
I do know that. Yes.
Basically won a World Series
Giants,
with San Francisco
correct?
one season. Literally pitched, I think, in 3 games. Was the man. Hit home runs, did everything you could ask him to do. He's a big, strong, tough kid. He has been. We'll talk about Mason Saunders and Madison Bumgarner on the other side.
Okay. All right. We're going to get to the second part of Smug Memphian's Twitter question. If MLB is playing, which they're trying to keep hope alive, I think it's too many unknowns and too many factors that go into this thing to actually get the MLB season up and going. But if MLB is playing, the NBA has to as well. Not necessarily. We'll talk about that and Madison Bumgarner's rodeo name on the other side. Don't you dare touch that down. You're listening to Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Hilo Commercial Services can help protect your workplace and employees. Call Hilo Commercial Services today to help mitigate the dangerous effects of the coronavirus and the flu virus. Hilo offers complete deep cleaning and sanitizing services for schools, churches, medical facilities, office buildings, residential, warehouses, and more, all customized to your needs. Put safety first with Hilo Commercial Services. Call Philip right now at 901-277-6733. 901-277-6733. It's time for Hilo Commercial Services.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Welcome back. This is it. We had a little slip up. It happens sometimes.
Thank you, Texter.
Texters, thank y'all so much. On the First Bank text line 67.
Never been good at Flaccid Rock.
Played Fooled Around and Fell in Love. Or Play Fool Around and Fell in Love by Elvin Bishop. Please and thank you. Thank you, Texter. Thank you for that suggestion. Getting us back on track on this glorious Soft Rock Tuesday. According to the Doppler Doohickey, it looks nice out. From what I can see,
got
out
a
the
window around here?
Yeah, you got to dip down low to see it. But it looks nice. Rain is coming though, according to the Doppler Doohickey. So be aware of that if you're trying to do your neighborhood walk while staying physically distant from everybody. You might want to get that in early so that the rain doesn't catch you and the rain doesn't get you. We were talking about the MLB possibly restarting their season, or starting their season, excuse me. And what that would look like. There's talks right now that the MLB is going to put all of their games in Arizona, put all the teams in Arizona, try and keep them isolated so that the players are only going from the house to the game and back home to try, and they will be constantly tested also to try and get the season back up and going. The money that the MLB would lose in ticket sales, they are hoping to make up in TV dollars, because in a time like this with no live sports going on, the second we get a live sport will be that sport will get a lot of money, will make so much. And so the MLB is trying to be that sport for us. And MLB throughout the course of my lifetime has been that sport. We talk some about when will we know what sport will give us that moment of normalcy, when will we know things are back to normal. What sport will help us out in that. The MLB has given us a bunch of those, well, not a bunch, it has given us several of those moments. When you think about David Ortiz and the Boston Red Sox after the Boston Marathon bombing, you think about President at the time,
President Bush throwing the strike, man,
George
that was
W.
a heck
Bush
of a throw.
Throwing the first pitch at that Yankees game.
Right there after 9/11.
Right there, right after 9/11. So yes, baseball.
That's the one I remember. I mean, like I ain't gonna lie to you. After the Boston Marathon, David Ortiz was he got you like fired up.
Mm-hmm.
But because of everybody and their grandmother, 9/11, you remember.
Mm-hmm.
But when George Bush came out there, I don't care what political affiliation you were, it didn't matter. But when he came out there and got on that, and everybody was going crazy in Yankee Stadium, and he threw that strike, I don't know, I think that kind of got everybody and their grandmother pumped up.
Yeah, it got us all.
And then we went down a little bit.
We put everything to the side for a period
Like
of time.
sports is one of those things that will literally help everybody once it gets back. It always helps people heal.
We talked about Superdome. We talked about Gleason blocking that punt in 2006.
That was amazing.
And we talked
After
about
Katrina.
what that did after post-Katrina for the city of New Orleans.
And then also his life, the way what happened with
Mm-hmm.
him, with just what is it, Lou Gehrig's disease? Is that what he has?
I do
oh my
believe so.
gosh, just his whole story and just everything. That's a wild one.
Yeah, and how back on the sense of normalcy, how important it was for that community, and how you could still, watching the replay last night, you could still feel the energy in the Superdome from that day. Like that was just a different sort of environment to play in. And baseball is trying to give us one of those moments. Now, the thing with the Boston Marathon bombing game, or the game after the Boston Marathon bombing, with David Ortiz and the Red Sox, and the thing about...
And he dropped an F-bomb.
And the thing about that George W. Bush first pitch, and the thing about the 2006 Saints-Falcons game, first game back in the Superdome after Katrina, fans were there.
Oh, wow. Good point.
Fans make a large difference. You can feel
You know what? I didn't even think about that. That is a great point.
You can feel the pulse of some of these cities and some of these communities from their fan base, and that's what draws you further into that particular game in that sport. With the MLB right now, no matter what, they're not going to have fans in the stadium.
Do you remember when they played that game empty in Boston?
Yeah.
The Orioles?
Yeah.
That was the weirdest game I'd ever seen in my life. Like, I'm not kidding with you. You could hear the ball land after Chris Davis hit a home run.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Showalter jumps up and instead of using the phone is like, yo, bring in Britton. Just like yells it to the outfield. Like, they didn't, like, there was nobody. That was weird. I didn't even think about that. Good job, CJ.
So on the second part of Smug Memphian's question, if the MLB is starting, does that mean basketball has to? I don't think so. And I don't think so because of the nature of the coronavirus. Outside is one thing. It's the virus gets spread if you're in close quarters, if you're close to somebody. And baseball, for the most part, is a sport that is the most socially distant team sport. I think it's safe to say. Maybe, well, no.
Wait,
not even
baseball?
Soccer. Yeah, most socially
but they're
distant team
also
sport.
the nastiest because I'm not trying to be. I'm a baseball guy, but
Baseball
think about
players
who
are so gross.
spits and grabs themselves
so
more than
gross.
baseball players.
Baseball players lick their fingers. Baseball players are so
Lick
gross.
their fingers, grab their I was gonna say like spitting and drinking after
We've had
everybody.
this conversation before.
Like baseball, we kind of nasty.
Nastiest sports, just from not from what happens
Dude,
naturally
a baseball
in the sport,
dugout's nasty.
but just from the participants in this sport being nasty. Wrestlers, baseball
funky.
players,
They touch each other too.
Wrestlers are so gross.
They don't
Wrestlers
even mind getting each other all up in there. Like, yo, you got
all.
like if somebody put that in my face, I'd be freaking out.
All the ringworm that they getting. Oh, so gross. Wrestlers, baseball players. I'm gonna go lacrosse, then football, and then everybody else kind of, maybe hockey gets honorable mention. Everybody else kind of from there. But yeah, it is it is far more physically distant than basketball. Basketball, you're running down and you're touching somebody every single possession, be it because you're setting a screen or you're trying to box out or what have you. You accidentally foul somebody, whatever it is, you are bumping into somebody constantly. You're not really doing that in baseball. And it's about 6 feet separation on the field, is it not? With all of the positions, certainly in the outfield, there is
6.
Yes.
Oh, by far a lot more than 6. I mean, you're 66 feet 6 inches or 60 feet 6 inches. Dadgummit, now you got me thinking. 60 feet 6 inches from pitcher to home plate. I mean, it's 90 feet to the bases.
Yep.
I mean, outfielders are 290 feet from the catcher.
Is that 90 feet?
290, and then the center fielder is about 340.
90 feet running from home plate to first. Is it 90 feet?
90.
Oh, my gosh. That's why I be so tired when I try and jog the bases just for fun, to be silly. Man, I did not realize that. I'm not doing that again. But
60 feet, 6 inches. I can't believe I just had to look that up, man. You had me question.
I didn't say anything
No,
to
I know, but
you.
did I say 66 first? It's 60 feet, 6 inches, and I think I said 66.
Listen, whatever you said is between you and you. I didn't say anything.
Now I'm going to have to check the tape.
But because of those reasons, and it's a sport outside, and the fact that it's being outside, and we know that being in well-ventilated areas really stops the spread of the coronavirus, and because we are, as a collective, where we go to work at isn't as well-ventilated as usually a smaller room area with a lot of people in the cubicle or what have you, that's where the spread really picks up from. If you're outside, there's no better ventilated place than outside for you to be.
Yeah, like if you're playing outfield, you're playing infield. If you're doing anything except for like catching, catchers are going to have like the batters sweating all over them, and then the umpires standing over sweating on them.
But we're doing going to the virtual, the electronic.
That's
strike
true.
zone.
Like, if we go
So,
electronic,
to get
that's
that.
better. And then I mean,
So
baseball actually would be
outside of the catcher and the batter, from a physical distancing standpoint,
everybody's going to be 6 feet apart,
and they're not going to be in the dugout. They're going to be sitting in the stands 6
What are
feet
they
away
going to
from
do
one
about
another.
all that spitting?
I don't know. Are you going to get fined? You'd have to
They're
fine
going to have
for
to start
spitting.
fining people for spitting.
The touching of the ball, though, that is the problem. So if you've got a catcher or a pitcher who ends up touching a ball and then they
Well, you got to like throw it back, dude. I'm sorry, that's like it's impossible.
Yeah, it's just not feasible. I don't think it's possible. No matter how much testing you want to do, no matter how strenuous your testing regimen is going to be, it's just not feasible. I don't think we get baseball back. I like the ideas though. Let's keep the ideas coming in though, because that. Without
Baseball
the ideas,
by
we'll
far
figure it out
is the
soon.
safest though when you think about it.
We'll figure it out.
If the guys weren't nasty.
But you see, from a team sport
But
standpoint,
the thing is also it's going to be the weirdest by far, I think, without fans. Like basketball on TV without fans might not be so bad because you can just like show the court more so.
Mm-hmm.
Football without fans is going to be weird as all get out. But baseball, like you are so used to just the chatter and the noise and just the like the feel of the crowd. Like that's like an important part of baseball.
basketball with the fans, it gets a lot of people jittery. It makes people worse at times. Makes some people better. Some people, like Kobe Bryant, that 60-point game, I feel like was fueled by some of that. The fans. The last game was some of that was, oh my gosh, Kobe, keep doing it. Like really energizing and galvanizing him. Some players we've seen them, though, especially role players in basketball, get rattled by crowd noise and by being in a hostile environment. So the fan impact in basketball, I think, is just as large and is going to be missed. Really, fans in all of these sports.
Why do I think of J.R.?
J.R. Smith? I don't know if that was
just
fans
joking.
or if that was just J.R. being
lost his damn
JR.
mind.
But yes, those types of moments do happen with fans really berating you, beating down on you, feeding you full of that negative energy. It really does have an impact, and it'll be interesting to see if the MLB can get going. This is not enough, I don't believe, of a step. 'Cause again, how are you regulating what these players are doing in their away from the stadium? And all it takes is one person to sneak somebody or sneak something that they're not supposed to be sneaking in, and that person has it, passes it to the player.
You mean like a lady?
John, what have you?
You know what? They're going to have to take the boys' phones away from them and keep them off a tender.
John, if I took your phone when you were single, if I took your phone, took you off
We'd
of
fight.
social media,
No, I didn't mind. I would give you my phone. I hated
Okay,
phones.
exactly.
You know I call it the world's largest dog caller. I got divorced because of the phone.
And did it stop you? Not having a phone. Did it
Heck
ever stop?
no, it never
Exactly.
stopped me.
You can't, like, taking phones away is not going to be enough. Banning players from Tinder or from whatever Farmers Meet or Farmers Only, I don't know what the dating sites are. Banning them from those things, not going to stop them from going out there.
They got a farmer's one?
And, yo, Farmers only, yeah.
Farmers mingle. What is this like? So
Farmers
for people
only.
who are like, because you
Christian-
have to like go like 150 miles just so you can get like a neighbor.
I don't know. John, I didn't hop on this one. I honestly,
I almost want to drive to the middle of the country and just get farmers.com just to go and see what's going down.
I haven't hopped on any of those. Thankfully, I got out the game before we started doing the tenders.
I'm talking about doing
that.
this for like journalistic, reason. It's research.
I'm sure you can research it right now. Just hop on there and download Farmers Only.
I think I need to leave the state.
No, you don't need to leave the state. Do it now. Do it.
No way.
You're not going to come in
I'll
tomorrow.
get
if you do it.
killed.
I know it. I know it. Don't do it. Don't. But, yeah, there are ways to go about bringing things in, be it people or equipment or what have you, in that you're not supposed to have. And so that's why I don't think this baseball thing will end up coming to pass. And why also I don't think having baseball necessarily means that you can have basketball. It's a lot of hands that touch the ball. It's a lot of bumping going on. We saw the Chinese Basketball League Chinese Basketball Association, try and have basketball and bring that back, and then having to stop almost immediately because players were still testing positive and it was spreading through the ranks. So,
Well, now
I
that we're
don't
finding
know.
basically you can breathe on somebody and get this, that it's not
Just by
necessarily
singing.
on like the countertops or just like you have to watch your hands and not touch your face. You know, you can have droplets or whatever. Now that they're finding this out, like honestly, basketball looks like it's got a, like basketball and football, like how the heck they supposed to play? And even baseball, because I know, dude, it's just, I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know how.
Catch that door for me, John. It's not going to feel the same either. So baseball, just for the sake of baseball, minus the fans and the emotions that they bring, minus the emotions that the players bring also. Because guess what? One of the more fun things about hitting a home run is seeing everybody celebrate with that dude as he rounds the bases and gets home. You're not going to be able to do that. These plays are going to be made, and you're not going to be able to celebrate with your teammate in the way that we are accustomed to you celebrate, be it a pat on the butt, pat on the back, high fives, chest bumps, shoulder bumps.
Oh,
like
yeah,
none of that.
going back to,
You
dude,
can't do any
they
of that.
got more like handshakes. It's like
Yeah.
takes 10 minutes. Do.
No, you're not going to be able to do any of that. So baseball, void of the passion.
Did you see
from
the
fans
one
and
where the two
celebrations,
guys
I don't
grabbed
know.
each other after the home run? Did you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was hilarious,
No,
and
that-
that was gross also. But like, dude, how in the heck? Like, hey, dude, you know what? After we hit a monster home run, why don't we come out and never
Yeah,
mind.
no, we're not. No, I don't care how.
Like that would be a weird
we're
conversation.
We're not. That's why baseball players are so
Like that's
gross.
what I'm trying
We're
to say.
Not,
Is like, could
we're
you
not-
imagine if I said to you, "Hey, CJ,
No.
you hit a big old home run. You want to come back and we'll go and grab each other's?"
No, I would say get away from me.
Yeah, you'd probably like
No.
never look at me the same again.
And I would talk to everybody like, "Yo, y'all know this
John
dude
is
trying to touch
real
stuff?"
weird.
No, we're not doing that. Not in public. You can't sexually harass me in
By
public.
the way, that's
No.
like in the workplace and on national
Yeah,
television.
no. Everybody sees it. Everybody sees it. Well, everybody might not see or might not have seen because I haven't. Madison Bumgarner is a bull rider, John?
Dude, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Okay, I got to remind everybody who Madison Bumgarner is because I know a lot of people out there are just not familiar with him. He was a first-round pick back in 2007. Dude makes his debut in 2009. They win some World Series. 2014, he gets the World Series MVP. He's the greatest pitcher in the world. Also hits bombs. He is a big, strong North Carolina country boy. You know what I'm saying? And now he just signed again. He spent almost his whole career in San Francisco as their ace. Then he signs a 5-year, $85 million contract to join the to leave San Francisco and join the Arizona Diamondbacks. So, Arizona is fired up until in Arizona at Rancho Ria Arena in Wicksburg, Arizona, who he just also signed for. He won $26,560 in a team roping rodeo competition with his buddy, who's also a professional rodeo, Jason Tucker. Now, they're taking the picture, and you can kind of tell Mason Saunders ain't got, like, the biggest smile on his face and really ain't trying to, like, show himself off because he's getting the huge check of $26,560. Jason Tucker's just beaming from ear to ear.
Yes.
Like Madison
As he should
Bumgarner's
be.
trying to almost like hide, like, oh, God, they're taking a picture of me. Well, they put it in the paper, and then the GM of the deadgum Arizona is like, please tell me that Mason Saunders is not Madison Bumgarner. So then he starts looking around and finding all these pictures of Mason Saunders in these rodeos. And he goes back and he finds out that Madison Bumgarner has been entering rodeo competitions the last couple of years under the alias Mason Saunders. So dude's playing pro baseball during the summer and roping cattle and riding bulls in the off season. Not something I'm sure GMs really are too excited about.
Is he still doing it? Please tell me we let Mason continue his rodeo career.
Yes, he did a really good job with his little. Well, I mean, right now, he's not doing roping because nobody's doing it because COVID-19.
Yeah.
But that's what they were talking about. His agent, like they can't even. They figured out why he had certain things put into his clause because like he doesn't have that whole. If you're, he won't ride a motorcycle. There's certain things he said no, but it doesn't say nothing about rodeo. But nobody thought about putting rodeo in the
Who would put
daggone
rodeo
clause.
in the contract? I would just assume nobody's doing rodeos.
But he added a thing about being able to ride his horses and do his stuff with his family on the farm. And it's like basically saying that, of course, and this is what he calls doing stuff on the farm.
Ah, I like that.
I like it, dude. That was pretty smooth.
So we can let Mason go out there, not Madison, but let Mason go out there.
Mason's going out there and
hit the home
roping.
runs.
And by the way, again, it's so funny. Like he gets 26,500 and split in. Like the other dude's like freaking out, and he's like, "That's pocket change."
Yeah, no. Madison's got all of the money, and Madison shares it with Mason. So Madison's going to be the pitcher. Mason's going to be the one designated home run guy.
I bet you that whole check went to Jason Tucker.
Yeah, of course it would. Of course. If I'm a multi-millionaire and I got this $1,000 check,
If you're
I'd
Jason
pass it
Tucker
down
and he
to somebody.
asked for half of it, would you be like, "Excuse me"?
I'd be so mad.
I know. I'd be like, "Hold up, homie. Do I get half of your pitching contract?"
Man, come on, man. No, we're not going to do that. We can't have that happening. You got millions. Let me get these thousands. Let me get this 20,000.
And don't forget, we're going to eat steak tonight and you're paying for it.
I'll call the Diamondbacks right now and let them know what you're doing. No, you are definitely going to give me all, 23,000, 26,000, whatever it was. You're going to definitely give me all of that. I'm not going to sit here and let Bumgarner or Mason, whatever Mason's name is, not going to let him run around and do that. No.
I just think that's just too funny, though, that like there was a bunch of people in radio that had no idea that he was Madison Bumgarner.
That's good, man. Good for him. Got to know what
wait,
you love.
we got a text that says, "I went to farmersonly.com and got a date with a goat."
The greatest of all time or like an actual goat?
Oh, I was thinking the greatest of all time.
That's what I was thinking, too.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, see?
Congrats, man.
Had a way to snag him. You got to.
Can you put a ring on the finger now? Like if you find somebody on farmers.com?
I would think you could put a ring on
Or
anybody's
do you
finger,
just like
John.
break off a husk and tie it up and tie it to her finger?
I don't know. I've only dated city gals. Never dated a country. Whoa, wait. No. Yes, I have. Dated a young lady from Kankakee, where Eli's from.
Huh?
Yeah, Kankakee, Illinois. So.
Oh, I didn't even think that was in like America at
No,
first.
yeah, Kankakee, Illinois. She was proud to be from Kankakee, too.
Did you say Eli's from there?
I think Eli is from there. I will double check, but yeah, I dated a chick from out that way. Did not know Eli Savoy, believe it or not. Did not. But do you think, John, that the MLB will be able to get a season in place and started like this by keeping everybody 6 feet out of the dugout and 6 feet apart in the stands? No fans are going to be there, only playing in one state. There are a lot of ballparks in that state, but only playing in one state, shortening the innings to 7, going to electronic umpiring in the ball strike department. Do you think this is going to be enough? Do you think this is going to be something that the MLB will be able to do?
I'm not sure, actually. I was gung-ho about it. I was digging the strike zone, not having a guy back there to speed up the game. I was thinking that it would work. And then you reminded me of, well, they're going to do this in front of no fans.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, there was a guy, like, WrestleMania, didn't it happen this weekend?
Yep.
Without fans?
Yep.
Like, that I heard was weird. It's just, I don't know, sports without fans does not feel like sports.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I want fans.
And it's sports without emotion also doesn't feel the same. So being able to, ball gets hit, you're going back, and somebody snags the home run right before it leaves the ballpark. And he comes down, lands, that's the third out. Everybody's trotting to the stands. Not the dugout, but to the stands. Nobody's going to be able to celebrate with that guy in the way that we're used to seeing these celebrations take place. So it's not going to be a lot of high fives, a lot of pat on the backs. It's not going to be a lot of chest bumps because you're just so excited. We're not going to get that beautiful moment on the walk-off where the walk-off happens and everybody just goes, runs, and dog piles the person who scored the winning run or got the winning hit. We're not going to see the Gatorade showers or the water bottle showers after a player does something truly remarkable. Sports needs to have that emotion tied into it to really captivate us and really get us to watch. And if you're not going to give us that because of physical distancing, I get it. You're not getting that because you're physically distancing. You're not having fans in the park. You don't want players touching excessively. It's not going to be the same. And it's not going to be the same product. And I don't know how. I know that we're going to watch because we want live sports, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be good.
I was going to say it's going to be very weird. And if they do it just to get it money for the TV and all that stuff, that would also be weird. But I will say another thing, speaking about COVID-19, speaking about fans, they are continuing to talk about this draft, the NFL, and John Harbaugh.
The good Harbaugh.
I don't want to make fun of Jim.
The good Harbaugh.
The good Harbaugh.
There
John, he's worried, very worried about sensitive information being stolen because of technology. He's also worried about the draft. What if it's like your fantasy draft and all of a sudden your computer crashes and it auto-picks somebody? Like, what happens then? You know what I mean? Like, there are some questions, and I think maybe we should address some, but I want to, on the other side, I want to bring up what the new Ravens general manager, Eric DeCosta, said and joked about Harbaugh and the disrespect that he said about Ozzie Newsome. And I want to ask you what you think. And if you were John Harbaugh, would you take this with, like, tongue-in-cheek, or would you almost want to slap this dude upside the head? I'll tell you about it on the other side.
So we got that coming up. We got just NFL talk the whole next segment because we're going to talk about Cam Newton, what he said to CP3. We're going to talk about the Rams and the Chargers being on Hard Knocks. How? What?
Dude, if they have a training camp, that's why because they have to do two because I think there's going to be convinced recording time. They're acting like, hey, we're going to go explosive with two teams. No, they right now, NFL Films is trying to figure out how they're going to get up enough footage.
So we're going to talk about that as well as the pass interference rule that John mentioned earlier in the show. We got a lot of NFL to talk about on the other side. Don't you dare touch that dial. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1. and 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Soul Fish Cafe has done something that no other business in the history of Memphis has ever done. They won 3 different categories in the Memphis Most. They won it for the best catfish. We all know that's the best catfish, and you can get it fried like everybody does, or you could get it, if you wanted to, grilled or blackened. It's the best. Everybody says it. Then there's seafood. We know about their beautiful shrimp. You can get those fried. You can get them grilled. The shrimp tacos are terrific. Memphis Most, best seafood. Then there's soul food. Yes, a third category, soul food. Their veggies are unbelievable. They've got this sauerkraut sausage Cajun dish that is amazing. I love the cucumber salad. Everything is always so fresh. And now, there's 3 locations with a 4th one coming to Wolf Chase soon. The original Cooper Young, the Shops of Forest Hill Irene, and, of course, the newest in East Memphis. That's on Poplar, just east of Perkins in the old Wolf Camera location. They're the best. You said it. They're Soulfish.
This is CJ Hurt from Sports 56 Mornings. During this coronavirus pandemic, many of you are spending all day at home, and we remind you that you can stay in touch and connected through Sports 56. Turn us on your radio, computer, phone, or smart speaker and stay up to date and connected. Meanwhile, keep practicing social distancing and remember to wash your hands often, and hopefully before long, we can get back to some sort of normalcy. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected with Sports 56 and Sports56WHBQ.com.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheim for Sunrise Chevrolet. A lot has happened overnight, and just wanted to let you know we're open at Sunrise for all your automotive needs. Service, body shop, parts, and sales. Go online to sunrisememphis.com to schedule an appointment. Should you need a vehicle, we're offering 0% up to 84 months with deferred payments up to 120 days. You can shop online. We'll bring the car or truck to you. At Sunrise, we know you want to feel safe, so bring your car to any Sunrise location. We'll disinfect it at no charge. Find new roads to Sunrise Chevy in Collierville.
Sports 56 would like to recognize local businesses that are out there still feeding and providing for the community via curbside pickup. Let's support local business with your business. These local businesses include East Memphis Ace Hardware, The Butcher Shop, El Toro Loco on Kirby, Bartlett Small Engines, Spirit Shop Liquor Store, Five Ash Roofing, Tactical Guns and Ammo, and Wolf Chase Lemon Brace. Sports 56 appreciates the support of local businesses always, but especially during this time. Thank you.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Free on my own. That's the way I used to be. But since I met you, baby, love got a hold on me. Ooh, it's got a hold on me now.
Welcome back. Soft Rock Tuesday, we're doing our best with it. I think we got it, though. I think we're back on track. Had one little slight slip up, and then
It was
now
a
we're back.
T-swizzle.
It was Taylor Swift, who was anything but soft rock. Catch that door for me, man. Welcome back in Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7. If you're planning on doing something outside, you might want to do it. Unless it is cut the grass, then you can wait. So you don't have to do it, because I do believe rain is going, according to the Doppler doohickey, rain is going to be coming through the area. A lot of NFL news to get to. John, where would you like to start? Would you like to start with Cam, Todd Gurley? Would you like to start with the Hard Knocks, the pass interference call? Would you like to start somewhere else?
Man, actually, I kind of just want to, first off, just want to go back because John Harbaugh and I would think, the owner, Steve Biscotti, I would think that, if anybody deserves recognition, Ozzie Newsome is one of the best executive presidents ever. And then you kind of have somebody like Ravens general manager come out, Eric DaCosta, and he makes a joke that he's more concerned about Ozzie Newsome or John Harbaugh having their old school ways and leaving a copy of their draft board in their car because they want to put everything on paper. Then he's worried about Zoom, by the way, which we've seen. Zoom's been hacked like a million times.
Can you stop? Wait. Can you imagine like NFL draft getting hacked?
Yes,
virtual draft
absolutely. If you're a hacker, wouldn't this be like this is the crescendo? This is where I'm going for. I want more eyeballs. What draws more eyeballs in the NFL? Nothing. This is a hacker's paradise.
This is like pun intended. This is a hacker Super Bowl right here.
Yeah, this is the Hacker Bowl.
This is it. But go ahead, John. I'm sorry for interrupting.
And anyway, I just guess I found it completely just almost disrespectful. Disrespectful, a guy who, comes in, takes over this job, and then comes out, and the coach goes out and he expresses his concerns about the new technology the NFL is using. He expresses his concerns about things that are going on. And he is very, serious about his concerns. And then you have the new general manager come out and make jokes about you and tell him to chill and say technology today. Literally almost, hush him away and shoo Ozzie Newsome and all they've done and John Harbaugh and Steve Biscotti and say everything before him is old and stupid. And, hey, this is the new world, the Zoom world. And I think this guy's about to get, woken up. And if I was John, I would have slapped the bleep out of him.
It's hard because I didn't hear it. I only read it. I can't tell tone when I read.
I saw it.
I can't tell.
Harbaugh was very, very serious.
I know.
Dude
not
was
Harbaugh,
very
the response.
but he was that's what I'm saying. He was very smug and like joking, and it wasn't something that I think it was a joking matter. Like if I was John and I came out and did an interview and I'm very serious about my concerns and I want the NFL to take this serious, and then my own general manager comes out and makes jokes right behind me, I promise you we're throwing down.
I can't. And this goes back to what we talked about with JB about reading the room and how to get to a certain level, you have to be fixated to the point to where you sacrifice a bit of being able to socialize appropriately.
But
So
don't
what
you
I
think this is a very I want to use this. I just want to ask you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
These exact words. He makes a smug remark and then says, I have much more confidence in Zoom than I do Ozzie Newsome or Steve Biscotti or John Harbaugh with their copy of our draft board probably just sitting in the front of their car, something like that. I got no problems with the NFL and their technology. After, again, John Harbaugh does a whole meeting about his concerns, I'm smacking homie.
I don't know if he has read the room all the way. Because Harbaugh's concerns are legit. Those concerns are legit. It seems like he's trying to it seems like he's trying to crack a joke, but he's not funny. And he's awkward.
But
so
he's also disrespectful to Ozzie and John and Steve.
I don't think he means to be. You can't come into that organization and be disrespectful
Saying about
to those
like
dudes.
they do it the old way, leaving their stuff in their car. I'm more worried about that.
Can't be, going into that organization who the dudes are, like who's really in charge. Going in who the studs are anywhere in professional sports. Who you
and
go
Ozzie
in
right now. Look at his draft, like what he's done through the draft. I don't think he'd be picking on
John
Ozzie.
Harbaugh are the top, the tip, right beneath the people who sign the checks. It's those two gentlemen in that organization right now. And so he knows that. I know that. You know that. Certainly somebody like him in the know, affiliated with the NFL and in that culture, knows how important those two are. I think that is him trying to crack a joke a bit, tease them a little bit, give them a little ha, but it's not funny, and they're not going to receive it as being funny. So I think that's where he's coming from, a place of innocence in a way, but he doesn't know how to joke appropriately.
Yeah, it didn't come about very well.
Right, and that is what happens sometimes when you have these hyper-focused people. Because let's face it, all a general manager is, we dress it up. We don't like to think of ourselves as nerds in sports, as geeks in sports, but that's what we are. If you're paying attention this much to the numbers, you're a number cruncher, and that's nerdy. But because in sports is fun, so we get to these certain positions, we see people ascend to these certain heights in sports management, be it general manager, coach, front office, coordinator, what have you. We see them get to these certain levels and realize when they get there, oh, there's something off about this dude. Yeah, this guy has been staring at a computer, looking at numbers and watching film all of his life. He is going to be a socially awkward person. Can you work with that, though? What happens when you address him on that? So when John or Ozzie get up to him and say, hey, man, I didn't appreciate that comment. How does he react then? Is he, oh, my fault. I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
Here's what I do. If I'm John Harbaugh, I smack him real hard upside his head and say, do you like old school or you like new school? Because that's old school. I guess you still like new school, punk.
You don't have to do any of that. You're John freaking Harbaugh, the head coach of the
But don't you know
Ravens.
it'd make you feel a lot better just to smack him upside his head?
Hey, young man, listen. You know who I am? You see this right here? And, of course, you got to stun on them when you have these conversations, too. You make sure you have that Super Bowl ring visible.
I just call Ray Lewis and tell him to take care of my lightweight.
Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed. You say, hey, you want to hold this ring right here? Feel how heavy it is. And
whatever you do, don't call Jamal Lewis because you'll get busted.
Can't stand it.
I know that was wrong.
As you take the ring off and give it to him, like, hey, hold my Super Bowl ring for this conversation. And let him look at it and admire it like, yeah, you like those? Yeah. I didn't like what you said. If you want to get one of these, you need to fall in line. All right? Don't make me have this conversation with you again. Give me my damn ring back. And then you stun on him and you walk out.
Now, speaking of, that is a perfect segue because We talk about, basically, I'm walking out, maybe I'm going to stay or how people are going to treat me. What do you think about Cam Newton feeling like he's a fish out of water because he's leaving Carolina? I was shocked.
We talked about Mr. Tiger. What was his name?
Al Kaline.
We talked about Mr. Kaline and being, as long as he's been a professional, he has been with one organization. That was like 60-something years. You feel that way with Cam also. Now, he hadn't been in Carolina near as long, but when you've spent your whole career in one place, leaving it does feel kind of awkward. And Cam is a Southeastern guy. Cam is an Atlanta kid. Cam is an Atlanta kid who ended up at Auburn by way of Florida, spent some time in Mississippi. And now it's looking like Cam is going to have to and play professionally in Carolina. It's looking like now Cam's next step is out of this region, and he's not going to be as close to home. And he made Carolina his home. Forget about the on-field stuff with Cam and some of that, the stuff that happened in press conferences or what have you. Cam really embraced Carolina. Cam really went out there and got into the community in both the Carolinas, North and South. And that community really embraced Cam Newton also, and it's hard not to. Cam is super charismatic.
Dude,
so
are the Patriots going to go and pick up Cam Newton?
I mean, Patriots or the Chargers, I don't know. But the issue with Cam, because
the issue with Cam is one thing, and it's simple. It's called injuries. If his foot injury and the shoulder injury are fixed, the dude should probably be able to play football. Now, if he's still limited, no. If he's healthy, heck to the yes.
And that is a part of the fish out of water. It's not only that he's leaving the only place he's been professionally, but nobody can work Cam out. Medical professionals can't take a look at Cam.
Nobody knows about that shoulder and foot butt Cam.
And we don't know, the NFL medical staff, their teams don't know, their medical teams don't know where Cam is from a health standpoint. And that's another part of this. He has had so much certainty in his professional life.
Dude,
he knew he was going to play for the Panthers.
Could you imagine if Bill Belichick did get a healthy Cam Newton, though? If he actually was healthy, what Bill could put around a Cam Newton team?
He knew he was going to play for the Panthers. He knew he was going to be the starting quarterback. That is what he knew for all of his professional career. Now he doesn't know where he's going to go. And now he doesn't know if he's all the way healthy. It's one thing to feel healthy. It's another thing to get the okay from the doctors. And he can't get that okay because we are physically distancing. And you brought it up earlier in the show, John. The NFL has a bunch of rules in place that bar players from being in team facilities and bar coaches and medical staff from getting in personally into a player's home and players going to the team facility or to training staff's home. And we talk about Tua Tagovailoa and how this is hurting his draft stock some. This also hurts players like Cam Newton who are coming off of injuries, and if they can get the medical clearance from the right team, that team will take a chance on him. If Cam Newton is 70% of what he was, and you pair that with what Bill Belichick is.
70%, I don't know. I don't want a 70% Cam.
You're not getting 100%.
If he ain't close to 90, I don't want Cam.
No, he's not close to 90. That body has taken. You've seen the hits that body has taken.
Do you remember what? 100% Dante Culpepper with Minnesota. How awesome it was. Do you remember what like an 80% Dante Culpepper was at Miami, Oakland, and Detroit?
Yeah.
And then out of the damn league, it was awful. Do you think Cam Newton has a chance to get back to being more like a Cam?
No.
Or does he go back to Dante Culpepper-esque?
No, that body has taken. Watch Cam Newton highlights and
Too much beating.
Watch how many big hits he's taken. Watch Cam Newton highlights. And then watch missed calls.
They didn't give him because he was so big.
Cam Newton, and watch those hits also.
It was like Shaq rules in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Cam was just so physically spectacular that he was taking hits other quarterbacks weren't taking and wasn't getting called for it. You could tee off on Cam Newton.
Yep, and you weren't getting the flag. And but think about those flags, man. Do you like that with Shaq? Because remember Shaq back in the day, man, he'd have like 4 guys holding on him, and they wouldn't even call a foul. He'd look at the official, and they're like, he'd like, what? And the official's like, well, you did like jump up and dunk over all 4 little guys.
It's like that should have been and one. Shaq, you're going to miss a free throw anyway.
That's right.
I don't know, man. If Cam is certainly, even at 75, 80%, I think Cam is still a top 32 quarterback. And Cam on the right team.
I have a belief in medical like today's medical people are just so much better that I feel like the last 2 seasons basically a wash, this extended time to get healthy. If he's like, able to come back and be Cam Newton because of, he's
or be close.
Well, what I'm just saying is he's 30. Like, his body isn't like given completely, it's not gone. I mean, this dude can literally, he could rehab and get back, I think, almost to 90% Cam.
You've been spoiled, and you're forgetting that we tend not to have these long ass careers. Like, we don't get a Tom Brady career from everybody. We don't get a Drew Brees or a Peyton Manning
Well, not
career.
from the running quarterbacks. That's for deadgum sure. Because look at running backs. Look, the guys that middle linebackers. Look at the dudes that take the most punishment. Their bodies end up giving out on them. And I hate to even say it. Like, my man, one of the best linebackers, he re-signed with Dallas at Mr. Lee. He is one of those guys that Sean Lee was one of the greatest linebackers I'd ever seen. Or Luke Kuechly, who has retired as well. Great linebackers. But damn, their body ain't like Luke Kuechly had more concussions than you can shake a stick at. And Sean Lee, it's a shoulder, it's a back, it's a leg, it's a hand. Like, his body's also giving out on him.
Yeah, you only got so many hits. That's it. That's why I used to clown Tom Brady, Peyton Manning for feeling pressure and then just falling down, but it makes sense. If you want to have a long career, you can't be taking a whole lot of hits. If you know that the play is lost, the battle is lost, just fall down if you're a quarterback, man. You can't be getting clobbered like
Joey
that.
Porter is one of those dudes.
Joey Porter,
that
another
is
one.
the
Oh, my
only
gosh.
guys who, like, he worked himself back every year, no matter how injured this guy was. He worked out. He's still working out. And he ain't even playing.
Where's he a fit? Where's Cam Newton a fit? Because I think it's San Diego. I think with that group of receivers, those big,
I don't know, man.
tall, physical receivers, I think that
Keenan
that is a
Allen's
good place.
small. They do got big guys on the outside. Keenan is a little bit small, but Cam can still find him. I'm looking more like you need somebody that's going to run the football, put 2 tight ends on the field, and play hellacious defense, bad weather. I'm thinking New England.
Okay. All right. Todd Gurley, the Falcons made it official. They sent Gurley the paperwork. Gurley, I guess he signed it. I'm not sure how this is working right now, but he signed it. So Gurley is now a Falcon. What do you think that does, John, for Matt Ryan and the Falcons, a franchise that after they blew that 28-3 lead?
Jack, let me tell you something. It's called Atlanta. I always lose. Listen, Eugene Robinson, Player of the Year. I make it to the Super Bowl.
You don't got to bring that up. You don't got Man of the Year. You don't got to bring up Man of the Year.
Getting busted like trying to get a professional.
You don't have to bring that up.
I'm just saying.
Let Falcons fans let that go, man. That happened how many years ago?
I'm just saying. Bring up. Hey, do you remember the largest comeback in the history? Do you want me to bring up Tom Brady? Remember that second half?
You don't got to bring all of that up.
I know y'all know Shanahan's in San Francisco, but he's still in the NFL. You got to deal with it.
When the Falcons got there to the Super Bowl, when the Falcons were good, they had a really good run game.
Dude, they had Tevin Coleman and Freeman.
Devontae Freeman. I mean, that is, we talked
Jamal
yesterday.
Anderson back in the day when they got to this big Super Bowl, the Dirty Bird.
We talked yesterday about Derrick Henry and the running back position and what that means for a quarterback. I think if you look at it, Atlanta and Matt Ryan, I think a good running game does wonders for him and what he's able to do. And see, I think a good running game can take Matt Ryan from good. I think we all think Matt Ryan is good, but I think it can put him on a different level. And if Gurley, I know he's got the arthritis in the knee and he's not busting off big runs like he was at the start of his career. But if Gurley can give you a couple of those a game, if he can give you 1 or 2 of those a game, it is a game changer. And it changes what you do as an offense, and it changes the threat of the run, opens up lanes in the passing game. If he can do that for you, I think it's a good fit. And by God, how hard is it to figure out how to use Julio Jones in the red zone? I feel like every year we're talking about that.
I know. This dude had a year where he had 2 deadgum touchdowns, and he's Julio bleeping Jones. But this is the other problem with Todd Gurley. Did you see yesterday Sean McVay's answer? Sean McVay said, he was asked, did you ever envision Like, or what do you think about? Basically, it was a very innocuous question. Something about Todd Gurley, and then he comes in with his big answer about how he never envisioned cutting Todd Gurley, and then ends it by saying, and it wasn't a salary cap issue. Basically saying it had to do with he ain't Todd Gurley that I knew from when I first got him, and I never thought when we signed him. Like, I thought he was going to be Todd Gurley, and it's amazing how fast he became not Todd Gurley. So listening to Sean yesterday scared the bleep out of me for Atlanta fans.
Well, you got to take that swing, though. You got to try and get that missing piece. We're going to talk some about this pass interference reversal on the other side, because the NFL really implemented a rule just to get New Orleans to be quiet, and they're taking it away. We're going to talk about that and more on the other side. Don't you dare touch that dial. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
So this time of the year, Humdinger's is the place to go for Lent. We offer salmon, tilapia, swahi, rainbow trout, mahi, crab cakes, ahi tuna, anything you need, including our shrimp and grits. You can get any of those with our fish toppings, and you can also get them blackened with pineapple salsa, piri-piri mushroom, black bean corn salsa. Humdinger's is also in the wedding business. We are doing catering for weddings, any social events, any corporate events. You can dial our hotline at 901-260-8292.
At CDW, we get that businesses will try anything to increase productivity.
We try to increase productivity by putting energy drink in our water cooler.
Slow down, friend. A better idea is to have CDW deploy new devices powered by 8th generation Intel Core V Pro processors.
I get it. Why can't you talk faster?
For productivity solutions, you need Intel and IT orchestration by CDW. Find out more at cdw.com/begreat-make-the-shift.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans and Rocket Mortgage. During the challenging times we're all experiencing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that'll never change is our commitment to giving you the best mortgage experience. At Rocket Mortgage, our guiding philosophy of every client, every time, no exceptions, no excuses, exists for times like right now. We understand that hardships may arise, and we're prepared to help. If you currently work with us and need assistance with your mortgage, contact us 24/7 at rocketmortgage.com. As we all think about ways to save money, let me remind you that mortgage rates are near historic lows. If you think right now is the right time to refinance your mortgage, our home loan experts are available to help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at rocketmortgage.com.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Number 3030.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Fooling around with the world?
He fooled around and fell in love, John.
Oh, he fooled around and fell in love.
Yes. Welcome back in.
If he fooled around with the world, that would be crazy.
That would make him the homie, wouldn't it?
That would make him bigger than Wilt.
Yeah, that would make him Wilt. The NFL is looking like it's going to get rid of the pass interference replay call. For those of you who might not remember, because it took place 2 years ago, the Saints got robbed in a playoff game because of a pass interference by the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. Clear pass interference. If you had review, you would have seen it was clear pass interference. I don't know what the refs were looking at. All them refs on the field, and did nobody see that hit. So the NFL, Saints fans protested. Saints fans signed a petition. A Saints fan tried to get the NFL in court, tried to sue the NFL. Saints fans were talking about boycotting the Super Bowl, which, get out of here. No, you're not. Saints fans were hot. They were so upset that the NFL said, hey, you know what? We're going to make this thing reviewable. The ref said, no, we don't like that. NFL said, we don't care. We got to get New Orleans to shut up about this. And last year, they implemented you could review pass interference calls. And I don't know how many they overturned, but it wasn't a lot. It was not a lot. The refs seemed to have it set in stone, like, yeah, this can be the rule, but we're not overturning anything at all. So the NFL decided this year, hey, going into 2020, we're not going to make the pass interference call reviewable anymore. 1 year and done. Something that was supposed to be, if it was implemented the right way, I think it could have worked. But you couldn't get the refs on board, and you really just honestly wanted the Saints fans to be quiet. It is crazy to me that you would implement a rule just to get one fan base to not complain as loudly or as much. But here we are, John Harden. They've implemented the rule. They've taken the rule away, and I don't know what Saints fans are going to do. They can't go to the streets anymore. Not right now, anyways, because of COVID-19. But as soon as we can get back to having regular physical distance where we're not trying to stay 6 feet apart, I imagine Saints fans are going to be really upset and let the NFL know. That's just my guess. I can't believe that they decided to take this rule away, man. Can you?
Actually, yeah, because do you remember how many times they called it and they never, ever actually used the rule?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to, I mean, the officials basically said, no.
Yeah, no.
We ain't doing this, Holmes.
We're not going to the review booth.
Did they overturn like 4 that year, the entire year even?
I don't think that many. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but it was not a lot.
Like, it had to be so bad, and literally every one of them had to say, damn, we got to overturn it. It's that bad.
Yeah, it's crazy. What else is crazy is the thought that we will do a Hard Knocks.
2 teams, San Diego and the Rams. Nobody cares about either one right now.
Well, we care about the Rams.
Daryl Henderson. I hear about that.
Rams.
Yeah. But do we really care that much enough to where we're going to tune in to watch Hard Knocks just because of Daryl Henderson? No, Sean McVay ain't doing it for me all that much, said Gummin. The Chargers ain't doing for me at all.
We just had that whole off season where everybody was hiring coaches, head coaches, based off of how close they were to Sean McVay. Like, if you ate dinner with McVay one time, you were getting a job. Type of situation. It's amazing for me to hear that you are off of the McVay bandwagon.
Well, no, it's not. See, for me, the coaches, like you talk about Chucky or no, man, it's about
knock on wood if you're with me.
The players. Like 1 year, I can't remember who was dropping so many F-bombs. Was it Sexy Rexy? Who was it that was so crazy that 1 year?
Was it the Browns? Was it Kitchens with the Browns?
It might have been. But anyway, somebody was cussing way like a lot, and that was a story. But for me, the coaches don't do it. It's like the players that are getting cut. It's the fringe players that gets me to Hard Knocks.
But going into the season, you don't know, into a Hard Knock season, you don't know who those fringe players
I know,
are.
But that's what I like.
Yeah,
I like
so
finding out who those guys are to try to make the team.
That player is going to be there no matter what the team is. You just might not know about that player just yet. After the debacle that was Hard Knocks last year, where they had reality TV gold and Antonio Brown, who is losing his mind everywhere. After that debacle, they refused to give us all of the Antonio Brown saga. I'm kind of like, on Hard Knocks. Like, I always felt like it was just a propaganda campaign for the NFL. After they didn't show Antonio Brown what he was going through. Remember, he had the foot that he accidentally burned in frozen therapy. Antonio Brown out here wilding in these streets, and you're not giving us all of that. We're missing that. No, I don't. I'm kind of not not all the way sold on Hard Knocks. I am all the way sold on Sports 56 Middays with Greg and Eli. That's coming up next. Gabe as well. I know they've got a great show. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get